psalm opening prayer. For y'all that don't know, we pray as it is stipulated in the Bible. For being in the west, we face east because Jerusalem is east. You can find these instructions in 1 Kings, the 8th chapter, also Daniel, the 6th chapter. When he was a slave in Babylon, like he was a slave in America, he always faced Jerusalem to offer his prayers 3 times a day. Also, in pursuing the 1 Corinthians, the 11th chapter, man to uncover his head while praying and prophesying. Also, dealing in Exodus and Deuteronomy, when Moses went before the Most High to pray, he uncovered himself. Also, pursuing the 1 Timothy 2 and 8, and also 1 Kings 8:54, we have spread forth our hands. So we got a direction, what to do with our hands, and to cover or uncover, all based off the Holy Bible. May everything be done decently and in order. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
All praise to the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob.
All praise.
Honor and glory was only begotten beloved Son. Long live the King.
Long live the King.
Psalm 62. Hey, little Joe, turn to the wall, man. Psalm 62, the Most High's permission, confidence in the Most High, to the chief musician, to Jeduthun, Psalm of David. Truly my soul waiteth upon the Most High, from him cometh my salvation. He only is my rock and my salvation. He is my defense. I shall not be greatly moved. How long will ye imagine mischief against a man? Ye shall be slain, all of them. As a bowed wall shall ye be, and as a tottering fence. They only consult to cast them down from his excellency. They delight in lies. They bless with their mouth, but they curse inwardly. Selah.
Selah.
My soul, wait thou only upon the Most High, for my expectation is from him. He only is my rock and my salvation. He is my defense. I shall not be moved. And the Most High is my salvation and my glory. The rock of my strength and my refuge is in the Most High. Trust in him at all times, ye people. Pour out your heart before him. The Most High is a refuge for us. Selah.
Selah.
Surely men of low degree are vanity, and men of high degree are a lie, to be laid in the balance. They are altogether lighter than vanity. Trust not in oppression. Trust not in oppression, and become not vain in robbery. If riches increase, set not your heart upon them. The Most High has spoken once. Twice have I heard this, that power belongeth unto the Most High. Also unto thee, O God, belongeth mercy. For thou renderest to every man according to his works.
Hallelujah. Selah.
Yes, sir. Let's get it done.
All right, shalom, y'all. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Y'all, today's topic, y'all, what we're going to hit on is just basic studying Order Melchizedek 101. Y'all, and then what we're talking about is a brief overview of how to address the scripts concerning this priesthood and order. So a lot of times you'll hear someone ask, so how do I start studying? Do I start from the beginning? Start at Genesis and try to read all the way through, or do I start in the New Testament? Where do I start? Like anything, y'all, before you start anything, you have to have understanding of what you're attempting to study. If you're attempting to be a carpenter, so to speak, you're going to study what tools are needed. If a degree is needed, all of those things are presented to you up front. They're basically considered contents or responsibilities or requirements. You see that on any job you may go on, any situation. This is what has to be established first before we even come into conversation. If you're starting your own business, you have to follow these guidelines. There's going to be these rules before you get started. so that you won't get into this race and then don't know which race you're running. Are you running the 800 meter or the 100-yard dash? If you're running a 100-yard dash and you think you're running the 800 meters, you're going to take off slow. And when they cross the finish line, you're going to be looking crazy, like it's over already. That was 800 meters? No, it wasn't 800 meters, you're in the wrong race. So, being that we are in the order of Melchizedek, let's understand that clearly. The first thing of studying is to understand what priesthood we are under. That's the first sign. That's what the Messiah taught if you're a Messiah believer. So we need to get those things established. You may run into what's considered non-messianics or who don't believe in the Messiah. So the rules were going to be different for a situation like that if you let it start like that. If you let two opposing forces clash together like that, we're going to have some serious issues, y'all. So just our basic studying and how we know we under Melchizedek is because it was prophesied in Psalm 110th chapter and also Hebrews 7th chapter that we will go under another priesthood after the intercessor will be sacrificed for our sins.
That's good.
So we know that happened over 2,000 years ago. Now some may say it never happened. Then that's their problem, not ours, because they need to find out who they need to be sacrificing to get them sins lifted up off of them. Or they're promoting the exact same thing that Sunday worship is doing when they're saying that there's no sins. So we don't have to worry about any practice. We have to believe, but what do you believe in? Just like the non-messianics, what are they believing in? Who is it that they believe in that's the intercessor that's prophesied to come? If they don't have nobody, they got a bunch of possibilities.
Yeah.
Could be Hezekiah. Yeah. Could be King Solomon. Yeah. Could be King David. Could be King Solomon. It's a bunch of possibilities that they always gonna run into a roadblock. But the chances of it not being Yahushua HaMashiach, locally known as Jesus the Christ, is, what's that number? To 157,000.
Yeah.
157,000 to 0 or whatever it is that the prophecy would fit someone else.
Yeah.
So when you have staggering numbers like that, it will behoove you to understand that, and he said the volume of the book is wrote of me, not just the front half or the last half, so to speak, of the New Testament, but starting from Genesis 1, verse 1 talks about me. Right. And it ends talking about the Messiah in Revelation chapter 22, I believe it's verse 16, but whatever that last verse is, that's where it ends talking about the Messiah. He's not showing up on the scene hours later, years later, like this is his first advent. We got groups that say they are Messianic Hebrews, but they truly believe that the Messiah never existed before his birth on this earth. So his internal creation, they say never existed, but they call themselves Messianic. We got Messianics out here that believe that Joseph is the Messiah's natural dad, sired by him to his wife Mary. But the only thing that they did, there was a problem that went on. They did the honeymoon before the ceremony, so to speak. So each one of these are downgrading the Messiah's divinity, the worthy to be worshipped. Where Paul said it's not robbery to count him equal with the Most High, but he's not saying equal that they share in glory. One accord in the same Godhead that they'll read about in Genesis 1 and 2, Genesis 1:26. Let us, this is a body, this is a Godhead, and then we'll rightly divide the word of truth so we get some understanding. And with all I give y'all, we're going to get understanding. So the first thing we want to address is what the script tells us. And we'll start off with some 2 Timothy chapter 2.
14 to 19. Book of 2 Timothy chapter 2.
Sis, did you have your hand up before we get going to the scripture?
Yeah, I was confused I was trying to figure out if we are supposed to be non-Messianic or are we Messianic?
Oh, no. We're Messianic, sister.
Huh?
We're Messianic.
Messianic?
Yeah, that look like Messianic means Messiah.
Right.
Messiah is Hebrew, which means anointed.
Oh.
It's the same as Christ. When you hear Christ, you feel me? The same thing means Messiah, which means anointed. So when you call yourself a non-Messianic, you're saying I'm not anointed.
Okay.
And you don't want to claim that.
Absolutely.
Even if you,
Short for Messiah.
yeah. So when you say Messianic, you're saying I believe in the Messiah spoken of in this Bible, right?
Okay.
So you don't want to claim non-Messianic.
I'm not Messianic.
They're saying you're not anointed. You don't want to claim that.
So y'all, this is very important, y'all. See, this is Bible study. So you can do this. So it's a send and receive process, and you send back. We send out a message, and then if you receive it, if you don't understand it, you send it back. Or if you do understand it, you send back amen, which means I agree. So if we don't get no amens back, we're not going to beg you for them like Sunday doctrine. We ain't going to say, come on, can I get one? What's going on? Did y'all not get enough rest? Who can $1,000 to the first amen? No, and none of that. We need you clearly to understand this so that you may spread this gospel to somebody else. But if you spread this and they picture you're saying something, and they see a squirrel running on a wheel in your head, that's going to be a problem. The light ain't clicked on for you, so it won't click on for them. So y'all, every question, there's no bad question like what she says. She hear us saying Messianic and non-Messianic, but the two is not clicking in together. You got, and we're not saying Aaron is non-Messianic, because Aaron was Messianic believer. Moses said the Messianic full assurance in the Melchizedek order is coming.
Right.
He said the same thing John the Baptist said. I'm going to decrease. There's an increase coming. Both of them said. Now the increase both of them talked about said that the increase would be pure. It would be out drunk. It would be drama-less. The increase, because that's what will make it increase. Sin can't increase. You can't mount sin on sin and look for an increase. All that's going to equal is what?
Yeah.
Decrease, right? Decrease of this life. So we'll start at 2 Timothy. Go ahead, brother.
Book of 2 Timothy, chapter 2, I'm starting at verse 7.
Start at verse 7. Okay. Okay. Go ahead.
7.
Yeah, verse 7. Verse 7.
Read down to 19.
Yes, sir.
Consider what I say in the Lord. Give thee understanding in all things.
Get thee what?
Understanding in all things.
See, it's not talking about some things, y'all, all things. Look, and the first thing we have to get an understanding of is the rules of the game. So we're going to hit this, and then we're going to hit what the rules is, so that everybody know what order and how order should be established or exhibited to the newcomers or to yourself to stay in order. You have to know what the rules are.
That children's class about to start, y'all.
Okay.
Short letters. They teaching class back here. Y'all can follow Sister Naomi. Raise your hand, sister. Y'all follow the sister right there. They going on back to, for the short letters to get some edification.
Yes, sir.
Let's kick it off right now. Yeah, that's my name.
Right.
Hey, y'all make sure y'all behave. I'll be back there clowning.
All right, go ahead, bro.
Verse 8. Remember that Mashiach Yahushua, the seed of David.
The seed of who?
The seed of David was raised from the dead according to my gospel, wherein I suffer trouble as an evildoer, even unto bondage. But the word of God is not bound.
The word of Yah is not what?
It's not bound.
Y'all see, so that's one thing we must understand at first. Nobody has a lock on these scriptures to the point that you dictate to the Most High what's happening. Like he told Job in the 38th chapter of Job, where was you when I laid the foundation of the earth? Was you even a thought process in this program? It was three that bore record in heaven at that time. The Father, the Son, and the Word. These were in the conversation before everything got even started. Then the host of angels. Then the council of elders. And so forth and so on. So he asked, where was you at what? It was your thought process in this. So the Most High is not bound that we can limit him like all doctrines do today. They put him in a box. And they say, you can say whatever you want, you can do whatever you want. He don't care because he's in the box. That ain't what these scripts say. The scripts say he's boundless. Solomon said, this temple, I know, if the heavens of heavens can't hold you, what are we even talking about a building like this, y'all? So we have to keep our minds clear that we don't say it's down there at the Seal Spirit, or just this group has it, they're the only one. Right. It's not bound to one location. The heavens of heavens can't hold this spirit. This spirit is in the heavens. War was in the heavens. There's activity that was taken on the levels of heaven before we were even thought about. It was in the plan, but it hadn't manifested yet. Who has something? You had something like that, Brother John? Yeah. Shalom anyway, too, bro, for traveling on down again, you and your wife. No doubt.
My question is this. I have a friend also who's in the Word, but he said something that's powerful. And I'm just trying to see how would I speak to him with loving from perspective. He said that his group, when he was GOCC,
right,
they're the only ones that actually got it. You know what I'm saying?
See, and that's again what we're talking about. We're talking about bounds right here. The Most High is not bound. If he's bound in just GOCC, with all of the falseness right there, the Most High is in a box.
Well, we talking about this very thing on the side.
Yeah.
And I actually showed. Now, I was a little in the dark until he did what he did and let me know that I'm heading in the right direction.
Uh-huh.
You know, you have a hard time accepting that Joker was not the dad. And from what I learned here in reading, man, I just went into him and actually showed him and read it to him where him and Mary never stuff together to have it back.
Right.
You know, and he read, he saw it, and it messed him up. He got upset. And he got upset with that man. And I was to say peace, but I said, tell you what I'm doing. I said, I might be wrong. I said, let me go home and you talk.
Right.
Now, I went home kind of, I was a little confused because I showed him, brother. You know what I mean? I explained it to him. We both read ourselves. And when he said, well, you don't know when it's got it, that right there, man, it's a problem.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That point that you know everything, and you know what, you need to really start working on yourself. So I said, because I may have been wrong, let me go home and just get myself ready. I read the same thing over. I don't see nothing. I mean, dude, I was so dark about this over here. But once I got it, it's it. We got to explain to me.
Right, and all you did was read what you saw. It's not rocket science. See, you stayed with it. You didn't add or you didn't take away. He has take away doctrine. He says, don't believe your lying eye. It should have been that he didn't have sex with her no more till after the angel said this. That's what they want you to believe that happened. But if you believe that, at that point you choose to believe a lie because you know what you're reading. Go ahead, man.
This is Mark 9, just real quick.
Hold this real quick, y'all. We'll go to Mark 9 chapter.
This is going into verse 38 to 40. This is going into even to check us to be on some, we the only ones with the truth.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We the only ones that got it. That's a proud spirit. You don't never want to be victim to that. Most High had told Elijah, I reserved 7,000 soldiers that never bow to me. You're never alone, so you should never be thinking that your little group are the only ones that have the 100% truth. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of people brag and say that unless you study with us, you off, or you're not in the truth. But that's not the truth according to the scriptures. Right?
Absolutely.
Mark 9, 38 to 40, the scripture.
The book of Mark, chapter 9, verse 38. And John answered him, saying, Master, we saw one casting out devils in thy name, and he followeth not us.
See that? So he had the power with him, he had the spirit with him, but he wasn't plotting with them on the record. We saw one casting out devils in your name, so he down with you, but he ain't with us. He don't roll with the 12. Go ahead, brother.
And we forbade him.
See, they were like, you ain't with us.
Right.
Who gave you that authority?
Right.
And these are the disciples. Right? Go ahead, bro.
Because he followeth not us. But Yeshua said, forbid him not.
Do what?
Forbid him not. For there is no man which shall do a miracle in my name that can lightly speak evil of me.
Y'all see that? No man can do a miracle. See, y'all, so this is the difference in somebody telling you the Bible is tampered with. Satan would have to be able to do a miracle to trick you into believing the Bible is tampered with. It's the only way he'll be able to do it. Since he can't, because, and then if he was able to do that, guess what that does? He's doing the works of the Most High. So he's going to tear down all of his followers, plus he's going to the lake of fire already. So you think he's going to join in? It's like somebody on death row. They won't put him in general population in jail. Why? Because they can kill somebody else. What they got to lose? I'm on death row. Lucifer is on death row. He's not going to assist us in anything. So we want to get that clear that no miracles can be done by a deceiver. Anybody not of this fold, it cannot be done. So what he's telling him is the same thing when John the Baptist sent questions. They want to know who you are. Are you him or should we wait for another? What did he tell them to do? He told them, go tell them the blind see, the deaf hear, the lepers heal, the dead are risen. Do I need to continue what you need to go tell John? They're like, no, you good. We understand that. So back to here again, this other group outside of the 12 is performing miracles. Go ahead, man. I mean, whoever's reading that.
Verse 40. For he that is not against us is on our part.
See, he that is not against the scripture is on our part. I don't care how you slice it. You may not like it. Some of these road groups out here don't like Gentiles being on our part. You niggas crackers lovers. That's what they call it. Cracker lovers.
Mumbling under your breath.
Right. But yet, because Egyptians were almost our same complexion, a little darker, we never heard y'all say you niggas Hamite lovers. Why? So it's a color thing now, versus what the script say, worship him in what? Spirit and truth. So somebody tell me the color of spirit and the color of truth. What are those colors? Spirit and truth. Okay. Go ahead, bro.
That's it for that. That's it for that. The second witness is Luke 9, 49 through 50. Just y'all can write that down.
So that just let you know though, if it's another brother that's not what I camp, he believed in Christ and he believed Christ is the anointed Savior. He had faith that Christ is salvation. He trying his hardest to keep the commandments. You know what I'm saying? That's a brother.
Right.
Regardless whether he came up through the church of Melchizedek or not. Like who is us to divide and sanctify anything?
Right. So now y'all think about this. If this was the spot, what we gonna do after we fill in 300? This used to be an old nightclub back in the day.
Yeah.
This was called the Underground.
Yeah.
Y'all see them? Well, they used to have speakers, but y'all see these lights up here?
Yeah.
This ain't the shine on mountain. So, y'all understand that where we at, these are called places of worship, just like Acts 7:48, Acts 17:24. I don't dwell in temples made with man's hands. Right. Once you start labeling addresses and say, unless you come down, what happens when we jump up to 450 people?
Right.
Then everybody start hearing you got to be down there. What we gonna do? Move into the parking lot outside? Right. What we gonna do about the dead of winter here in the Midwest? Right. We got 1,000, 2,000 now coming. They hear that this the spot. What about just 144,000 of all the 12 tribes. How about they make a journey right here because they here is to see it. Where are they going to fit in?
In the hallways, on the escalators.
We say we Christ followers. We see what he did. He went from house to house, synagogue to synagogue.
That's
You know
right.
what I'm saying? So we see how he traveled and how he moved. So him being our Lord and Savior, him being the law that's manifested in the flesh, he never stayed in one place.
That's right.
He teach the word. So who is us to say that the word is only in one spot? No, it don't even make sense.
It's a proud spirit, man. Brother D, what's going on, brother?
And also Mary already said she wasn't with a man when the angel came and spoke to her. So that's in Luke 1. And
Yeah.
I had talked to a brother, he was following GOCC too. And I took him to, Matthew and to and he read, he was stunned. I'm like, but y'all supposed to be reading this book. So I ain't all off like that.
Well, we'll see, it's not reading, it's getting out of it. It's the diversion is I got to get you out of the book. So what you're saying, the diversion where it says Mary said, I have not known a man, I got to get you out of the book so you don't see how the angel answers that.
Right.
So when I get you out, what I'm going to tell you is, there used to be arranged marriages in Israel back in the day. So technically the wife never knew who her husband was going to be. So when it says I didn't know a man, she didn't know Joseph personally.
Out the book.
Out the book!
If you pick GOCC and IUS, what you call it?
Yeah, alphabet.
Don't forget, when you get to that truth, first they sell you a literature packet.
Right.
Which is not the Bible. You have to study up on that to even graduate. So instead of going to scripture, they already have you you know what I'm saying? They already got you pre-programmed to not read certain verses because you get your own little packet that's their guideline. Anything beyond their guidelines is off of their curriculum. So they can keep you out their camp or they, you know what I'm saying? They put shame on your name. So look, like he said, it's in Luke 1. But these Negroes literally probably never even thought about going to Luke 1 because they already have a book that tell them where to go. You know what I'm saying? So we gotta see that too with these other camps. They not taught to study scripture. They taught to study from the people that's teaching them. We don't teach that.
Commandments of men.
Yeah, commandments of men. Exactly.
There are some camps also that have guards and at the doors and things. I'm assuming that for the protection of the people.
Yeah.
The thing is that when the Lord brought the word, he didn't say that it was just for certain people. He spoke to everybody. And when the multitude came, he fed them with the fish and the loaves of bread. There was no discrimination to whoever was there. So he didn't say, you people at parties, you get up and go on by and say you or nothing like that. Or he said, I'm not going to speak because you're here. Or none of that. And when he spoke the word, whoever listened, he gave them the word.
Absolutely. And what I'm saying, we got guards at the door too. So it ain't like we don't have protection or anything. People know what they're supposed to do around here. But we ain't got to post up to intimidate you.
Trip if you want to.
It's like Peter rode with them and Peter rode with a sword. So we're not, the disciples had weapons on them. So, but it's bigger than that. We're not trying to scare you with physical weapons. Right. Because it ain't got nothing to do with what we're studying here about. This is spiritual war first.
Yeah.
Way before it gets fleshy. Look, the spirit will kill them before we ever had to reach for that. This is why David couldn't build the temple. Because David was a man of war. David had righteous and unrighteous blood dripping from his elbow. He can't build the temple. Your son during peacetime will build the temple. I don't want people thinking that the only way you can be part of this temple, you have to slay somebody. So what side are you going to slay? Are you going to slay on the Bathsheba side or are you going to slay on the Goliath side? Those things are not up for a debate. It's going to be excluded off the top. So we get some understanding. Vengeance belongs to who? Once you understand that, you be on your way to salvation. Once you understand who has the power to destroy body and soul, not just body, but body and soul in what? Hell fire. Not hell. Hell is the grave. Revelation say, I saw hell and death cast into the lake of fire. So hell is the grave. It's not the lake of fire. Two different things. It says be worried that you don't get cast into hell fire. Meaning from the grave right to the fire, like Ecclesiastes 12, just like that Psalm 62 we just read. Some waking to everlasting life and some waking to what? Everlasting death. So that's from the grave to where? The lake of fire. That's who we need to be concerned about, who got that type of power. And when you say he was brought into this world as a blemished lamb, that power dissipates or disappears. He has no power. He don't have more power than us if you believe that. But that doctrine has to exist so they can create now the old prophets of old. This is King David. That's Moses. That's Elijah down there. That's right. If you allow that to happen. But just a simple question that they're not even prepared for because they already got you on a curriculum. Just ask King David, what Bathsheba look like? The same size is going to happen. It's the same size. No.
And then I looked up when you said it.
But because there's guards at the door, you're scared to speak or to raise your hand like Sister Zoom. Because they got you back. Like we're going to get back to this 2:10. I know we turn the course, but it all talks about putting the Most High in a box. This is a four-corner room. How are we going to contain him here? What are we going to do when we leave here? Oh, go back down and let him out, man. Did you let the Most High out? Y'all let him out before we left? No, I didn't do it. What you got to say? Yeah.
And he said, like, their assembly is, like, super secured. Like, they have, like, guards that, like, check the children and women. And they take pictures of their IDs and stuff. And
That's free case right now.
Yeah, well, you know what else is super secure? Ain't nothing else, or what they call super secure. The feds went in there, and not a pistol was drawn. And they took loads of boxes of information out of there from this Negro that calls himself the Holy Spirit. Mother and father named him Jermaine Grant. But he said, I'm who the Messiah was talking about. I'm the one that was sent. First he was not priest who? Hazadaki or whatever he was.
First he was the cameraman.
Yes. Right.
Then he was promoted on up.
So now he's the Holy Spirit. But like you said, let me tell you about this curriculum. Over there in the Demona Desert, Benjamin Carr, before he died, called himself, he was the Messiah. We got a brother called in the show, Kalamiel. He said the first thing they did when they got over there, they took their Bibles.
Yeah.
He was over there for 15 years, and if you hear him call in, things sound like he just heard
Like he just heard it.
It's not where we look at him like, well, you should have been a part of that. It's just the fact that they put him in a box and bound him from hearing the word of the Most High. They took his script because they're trying to fulfill Jeremiah 31, where I will write the law in their hearts, and no man need to know about it. Everybody gonna know when they need the Messiah. That's what they did to them. They took their script so you couldn't validate. They're like, wait a minute. Jerusalem, the Demona Desert. Edomites running it, the Demona Desert. Sitting next to a nuclear reactor. When you read the Bible, give me that Bible. So, y'all, we see where our minds are set, even with our own people. And then you got the other Messiah in Florida, before he gave up the ghost, he was out of mention. Wrong way, then wrong way. So now he down in Florida, so you got two people on earth at the same time, both of them claiming they the Messiah. And not one of them is Xing the other one out. Don't believe that one in Babylon, he's not the Messiah. Don't you believe that one in the bone death. Both of them know they hustling. Right. They hucksters. The script on HUC, give me that definition of huckster.
And he said we're not supposed to read the book of James. I know it's about found 3 scriptures in King James Version.
It's an add and take away doctrine, y'all. It's all or nothing with this. It's all or nothing. If it's tampered with, show us chapter and verse. That's all we say. Right. Don't show us a quick curveball with pine tar on it. No, we want to see it exactly how you read it and precept it for the whole. Because some things won't add up, and what won't add up, and also what they throw in here is reincarnation. The word is resurrection. It's in the Old Testament and it's in the New Testament. Resurrection. Reincarnation means you come back possibly as your grandfather from 3 generations back. Well, he was alive with his great-grandfather, so what would that do for him? And then reincarnation is nowhere in the Bible foolproof to say you come back. What if you come back as somebody from a different tribe or a different nation? Right. In reincarnation, you come back as another species. You come back as Duke the German Shepherd. Look, if you don't know what Bathsheba looked like, how you know you wasn't a dog back in the day? And you've been elevated to human status now. These are all of the questions that keep rolling, that they have security at the door warning you, just like ushers at the church. Stand up and scream out, "Pastor, you lying!" Now watch how fast the ushers grab you by the elbow and lead you out of there versus he's saying, "Tell me where I'm lying at." Right. It's a curriculum. The 10 Commandments are not posted. What's posted on the door is the church covenant. Right. It's in every church. What's posted on all these applications is the church covenant. You worship General Jehovah. What's his name? He said he's the 3rd listed in heaven behind Christ. And that ain't no truth other than them. Other than them, it's the only truth. You have to come here. I ain't never seen that written in here. He did. Now, if anybody out here, raise your hand if you've seen that, point us to it right now. But see, you can't ask those questions, though. This is instant in season, out of season. We study 2 answers so that we don't have to scream. We don't have to get prepared for an answer. We're already pretty much surrounding ourselves with the study of what we need to be studying. And that's full Melchizedek order, sect of the Nazarenes. Yahweh Shai, his full majesty that he had before the world was. If you ain't believing that, you in the wrong room. That's right. Because that's all we're going to talk about, because that's all what's to come. How are we going to talk about some Negro scared of the feds? It's the Holy Spirit that should bring all knowledge to you. He's teaching a class and
he forgetting the Holy Spirit. Yeah.
You know what I want. You know what I want. The Holy Spirit is to bring everything back into remembrance to you. If that's what he does, why is he talking? Then that makes him the Holy Spirit. It's the same thing of the Muslim. Farrakhan sitting up there. You watch the movie of Malcolm X, not one scripture read out of the Quran. Not one. But they go into Mecca. They got the crescent moon and the star hat on, but every scripture they quoted came out of where? What's wrong with that picture, y'all? So y'all, with this understanding, y'all, what you know to get rid of, this can't be in here, this can't be in here, this is getting the leavening out, getting all of the leaven out, that's leaven, that's an additive. And y'all, let us understand, leavening is different from yeast. Yeast in the air. Yeast to be on your skin. Yeast to be, but leavening is an active agent that causes something to happen. Yeast builders. Pharisees and Sadducees were adding agent doctrine. They were adding to the scripture to make themselves rich and extort the people.
Right.
Except your righteousness exceed what? You have no what? So why are we entertaining even no righteousness doctrine? For what? We have no part in the kingdom. This is your kingdom. This is why they're trying to set these kingdoms up here on earth. Setting up compounds, people move in, and then guess what takes place? With a bunch of men and women who know about wild sex, and ain't nothing been changed since they moved into that space. Because the Bible's been taken.
Right.
So what you learning when you get in there? You cram into the same spaces. The script say how many, who gonna have mansions in the kingdom? How many? Many mansions.
That's right.
In my Father's house.
That's right.
So y'all, once you start to get this understanding, we're gonna move on real quick because we're running out of time. But these are y'all what you have to look at first when you hear these alphabet camps and the tip off of, if you don't come where we at, you ain't getting it. What we're talking about, if you don't get this gospel, I don't care where you at. If it ain't this gospel,
Right.
that the Messiah was born to be crucified,
That's right.
to sacrifice your sin, that's the gospel we talking about. It ain't our words.
Right.
We just repeating what we read. Let's move forward, y'all. Anybody got any questions? Huckster, what it say?
Huckster. This is in the New College Edition, the American Heritage Dictionary of the English language. Huckster, the first definition, a person who sells wares in the street, peddler, hawker. Definition 2, a person who promotes a commercial product on radio or television. Slang number 3, a writer of advertising copy as for radio or television. Hucksters, steering, to sell, peddle, to promote or to sell on radio or television, to haggle over, bargain in, and to haggle.
See, so that's what they're doing. We're not here for that. We're not here to haggle with you. We're not here to bargain with you about the word of the Most High. It is what it is. It's self-explanatory. It's of no private interpretation. We don't have to sell you anything. Because this say, come and get it for what? You just Isaiah 55, y'all knew we're going to get back on point. Isaiah 55, 1 through 7. So that we understand that this is not huckster doctrine. We're not trying to sell you anything. We're trying to do what we do, give it away, so that we can get rid of a multitude of sins ourselves, so that we may see the other side of the coin, what true righteousness look like. Y'all, because if y'all believe that's a kingdom, how is that the kingdom of the Most High over in the Dimona Desert and a whole other nation is running Jerusalem? You know, you can't even have a weapon over there. So the soldiers they got over here, they go over there, ain't no more soldiers. What they gonna learn next? Karate. And they got weapons. They got laser weapons now.
Right. Yeah.
They got drones with weapons on. What you gonna do? Be Kung Fu Joe? I'm gonna get you sucker and come up against him. You be tattered and torn just like he would. Where we at? Isaiah 55.
Yeah. All right. The book of Isaiah, chapter 55, verse 1. Ho, everyone that thirsteth.
Everyone that do what?
That thirsteth. Come ye to the water, and he that hath no money.
He that hath what?
No money. Come ye, buy and eat. Yes, come, buy wine and milk without money and without price.
Where do you think you're going to get that from? You think you can grab these scriptures and run up in the 7-Eleven? I was told to come up in here and hide with no money. So y'all, this is on another whole level, y'all. We're talking about spiritual power. Go ahead, brother.
Verse 2. Wherefore do ye spend money for that which is not bread?
So now you're buying curriculum.
Right.
You pay your tithes because he tells you you will be blessed by God. And it's a commanded tithe. We're going to command this percentage. But before I tell you that, now all the rest of the laws are done away with. Tithing is a law. How you gonna get rid of the Old Testament and then go to Malachi 3:8 to get money out of my pocket? That's a huckster. So they got you buying or trying to buy your way into the kingdom with a commanded tithe under the order of Aaron or the old priesthood. Go ahead, bro, read some more.
Wherefore do ye spend money for that which is not bread, and your labor for that which satisfieth not? Hearken diligently unto me, and eat ye that which is good, and let your soul delight itself in fat.
Right.
Incline your ear.
Do what?
Incline your
Y'all
ear.
just say, pull the ear up here so you can listen good. If you ain't hearing what we're saying, sit up at the edge of your seat. We like, oh, he got a question, or he really listening intent. Incline your ear. Go ahead, bro.
Incline your ear, and come unto me. Hear, and your soul shall live.
See, this is what we into the soul living. Because if the soul dies, it's going to eternal damnation. This flesh we ain't concerned with at all, because it's already decaying. You smell these newborn breaths smell fresh. You want to check your breath in the morning, see if it smells like death? They got a technique, it's called lick the back of your hand and count to 10 and then smell your hand. That's the test. That ain't the test. Lick the back of your hand and count to 10 and then smell it. If it's cool or tolerable, you understand. But that's decaying flesh.
That's right.
You wake up, you're waking up almost dead. That's decaying that you smell in the morning. This flesh is decaying. We're not talking about that. We're talking about the soul that's going to live either forever in damnation or eternal life. If you hear for any other thing, you're in the wrong room again.
That's right.
Let's get some more of that.
And I will make an everlasting covenant with you, even the sure mercies of David. Behold, I have given him for a witness to the people, a leader and commander to the people. Behold, thou shalt call a nation that thou knowest not, and nations that knew not thee shall run unto thee, because of the Most High thy power, and for the Holy One of Israel, for he hath glorified thee.
See, we can hold that, y'all. Y'all can read the rest of it if you want, but what all we're talking about is that didn't cost us a dime, did it?
Right.
It don't cost nothing to save your soul, y'all, so we can't blame nobody. All of these curriculums, every pastor coming out with their own book. And you can get my book on this same subject, where I go into detail and I break down for $21.95. And I tell you what, we're going to throw in a deal. We're going to throw in a coordinates that we don't use. Free of shipping. Hey. And we buy these things, and we buy bread that don't satisfy. We keep buying bread that don't satisfy. I ain't getting full. I ain't getting nothing. I'm still hungry. I didn't even belch off of that. Go ahead, brother. Take it out to 8.
Verse 6. Seek ye the Most High while he may be found.
Right.
Call ye upon him while he is near. Let the wicked forsake his way, and the unrighteous man his thoughts, and let him return unto the Most High, and he will have mercy upon him.
What are you going to have?
He will have mercy upon him. And to our Elohim, for he will abundantly pardon. For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, saith the Most High.
That's the same thing he asked Job in 38 chapter.
How you get around that?
My thoughts are not your thoughts. What do you guys say? What you guys say? Verse 9?
Verse 9. For as the heavens are higher than the earth,
Right.
so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts. For as the rain cometh down, and the snow from heaven, and returneth not thither, but watereth the earth, and maketh it bring forth and bud, that it may give seed to the sower, and bread to the eater.
So y'all see how it dropped down to the physical, but first after you believe and understand the supernatural or the spiritual, then it tells you how it manifests to the flesh. And to that, then it'll bring seed for you to grow crops. But you first have to be a crop. You have to be a planting of the Lord first so you know how to plant. Or you gonna do bad fruit.
That's what fruits do. You plant a seed, it grows a tree that you call a vegetable. The vegetable yields fruit. When you get the fruit, it be seeds inside of that fruit. That same seed you take from the fruit you eat and you put it back in the ground, and what it do? It grows a vegetable that yields more fruit.
That's right.
Continuous cycle, man.
That's right. He said, I am the vine, ye are the what?
Branches.
So y'all, we see the process. So to become a planting of the Lord, to become part of the Garden of Eden, because that's all New Jerusalem is, the Garden of Eden returning to planet Earth. That's right. Y'all, they had us thinking the Garden of Eden looked like Grant's phone. The Garden of Eden is what you read in the book of Revelation. New Jerusalem. It's just been refurbished. All sin has been cast out. What Adam and Eve did in there, it had to be refreshed. That's why he couldn't eat from the tree of life while he was in eternity, or he would have been in eternity with sin and stain on him. Nope, got to get out of here. Got to get out of here. D-E-D-A-D-O. Daddy, no. You got to get out of here. Where we at? That 17.
Back at 2 Timothy, verse 10.
Chapter 2.
Chapter 2, verse 10. My bad, y'all. Everybody back there? I'm starting from 7 again. Just read it.
Go ahead, bro.
Verse 7. We in 2 Timothy, chapter 2, verse 7. Consider what I say.
Hold on.
I tell you from my brother.
That's right.
Second Timothy, chapter 2, starting at verse 7. Y'all good? All right, 2 Timothy, chapter 2, verse 7. Consider what I say, and the Lord give thee understanding in all things. Remember that Jesus Christ, of the seed of David, was raised from the dead according to my gospel, wherein I suffer trouble as an evildoer, even unto bonds. But the word of God is not bound. Therefore, I endure all things. I endure all things for the elect's sake, that ye may also that they may also obtain the salvation which is Hamashiach Yahushua with eternal glory.
Now see, this is the problem that the old that the non-messianics have, an Old Testament only reader. The problem is salvation. But the quick misdirection is Jesus is the son of Zeus. It ain't a document on earth to say that. But have anybody challenged anybody who say that? Jesus is tied to Zeus. The spelling sounds the same, or they may say, man, that's Jesus, but get any concordance, any dictionary, it'll say from the Greek translation of Joshua, meaning salvation. Now, when you get through, Joshua means salvation too. Salvation ain't just a word, it's for our benefit. If you understand who salvation is and salvation to come, it's easy, but they got us chasing titles. These are titles of the Most High name. Who got the correct name? Yahushua, Yahshua, Yahushua, Jesus. Which one is the true name? How you gonna say it's a true name when Zephaniah 3 say there's a true name coming? No man knoweth. I got it written on my thigh. No man knows what it is. You don't even know your name if you saved yet. I'm going to give you a stone to put in your hand, and in that stone is going to be your name on it. It's going to say, servant, what I call you. Not the name that we can give each other. Yeah, bro, your spirit to me, I like the way you Zion. That ain't going to be the stone know you're going to get if you make it. It changed. You were called Uzziah in the old world. But in the new world, in everlasting life, this is what you call servant, whatever the Most High name.
That's right.
And here's your white robe.
That's right.
That you're going to wear. In there, free of stain and sin. Though your sins were red as crimson, now they white. This is the garment that you're going to put on.
That's right.
See, that garment had to come off of Adam and Eve, and they were made animal skins that can deal with elements now. Because you're outside of supernatural. Now you're dealing in natural with a flesh that's set for corruption. You need a different type of covering for that. Make you skins of animals then. You like fur coats? You like leather coats? What they all made from? What's leather made from? Animals. Because you've been reduced to that. But y'all, we can't let our minds go there. Finish that up, bro. We're going to move on because we need to speed it up a bit. Where you at? Did you get to verse 15?
Verse 11. It is a faithful saying, for if we be dead with him, we shall also live with him. Verse 12. If we suffer, we shall also reign with him. If we deny him, he also will deny us.
See, and let's understand this deny. Deny is denying works. Deny is not name. If somebody say, if you don't call Yehoshua, you denying his name before the event. No, I ain't. If you say, steal that, and I say, no, I'm not going to steal that because it tells me thou shalt not steal.
Right.
Lie about this. No, not going to do that either. It says, don't lie. Have I have to say a name yet? No.
That is the name.
Because what name got us thrown out of Jerusalem? What were we mispronouncing in Jerusalem? What name did we turn to the pronunciation of it and it says, out of Jerusalem you go? How did we profane his name?
Breaking commandments.
Like Ezekiel 36 tells us. You profane my name, you'll never get a chance to do that again. Ever. On this planet, under this sun. You won't be able to do it again. So, what name caused us to get thrown out of Jerusalem? Name means in the authority of. Satan got documents in his authority. You go get a cat, you cut its guts open, you drink its blood, you howl at the moon, and then your next practice is on your brother, a patsy who don't know that they finna get their cut on and their heart opened up and ate out. That's the name of that God, and that's what we were calling on. We were sacrificing our children. It wasn't just we said, oh, Molech, and thou shalt keep the words of, that ain't in there. What we did is serve their gods, so we call on their God's name. What other reason are you doing the sacrifice part for? You're calling on their name. You're conjuring up. This the work part of it. This produces what you're asking for. You just ain't going to holler out no name and get it done. It's the same thing Christianity teaches, don't it? Right. That's why the non-Messianic, all it is Hebrew Christianity. If you don't say it this way, you can't be saved. They say if you don't say Jesus, you can't be saved. But guess what both of them do? They don't understand, neither one of them understand the order of Melchizedek. One says the law is done away with, the other one says it never existed, or it don't exist no more. Same thing, just to move to a different side of the playing field. All you know is you Israel. But all the church curriculums just moved to this side. We got the same setup. We command and tithe. And this same brother is now, I want 20% of what y'all got to offer.
Yeah, the boy Jermaine Grant.
Out there on the street corner selling oil for 8 hours, and you get, what is it? $20. You could have sold $1 million worth of oil, and you take $20 home, and you've been working all day. And you wonder why your woman's lips are turned up. Like she's been sucking on a lemon with a vinegar taste. What we gonna do with this? We got 4 babies. What we gonna do with $20? The rent man was here yesterday. What are we gonna do with $20? What we gonna do? So y'all, we ain't playing no games down here, y'all. This is eternal. This is powerful, and the instructions are near to us. If we wait today, get taken from us, it's going to be a problem. Get it while it's new, y'all. Finish that up so we can move on. Anybody got any questions? Go ahead. Go ahead, bro. John.
This is my point. Because we live in this society, I'm just saying is, we're not supposed to lie. When you go to court to tell the truth, you have to lie and never tell the truth. And you know what I'm saying? We put in positions to break God's law in this land. We don't want to, only black people are the only people that are motivated to do the right thing. But you put in a position where you have to lie in order to survive.
Well, you never really have to allow according to that because they use this. That's what the devil does. He give you your doctrine first. What did your God tell you? What are the rules of your game? What are you supposed to follow? And when you tell him, yes, I know, what other book they got in this courtroom? Which one they tell you? Put your hand on. See, he knows that you can't make a vow that you can't keep. He knows that the problem is, who don't know that? The one that's putting his hand on it. And that's Israel. The script says, don't swear.
That's right.
Never. Say, I affirm. That means you may run something by me I don't completely understand. That may have not been expedient for me. I affirm. And guess what they'll say? It's okay, we'll accept and affirm. But once you say, I swear, guess what's on the table next? Perjury. Worthy of 5 years in the penitentiary. But if you say affirm, no perjury. So y'all, our adversary is who we need to know and who we need to understand because he's masquerading as the angel of light. So it's going to be close to what he says. Satan didn't have his own imagination. He didn't think up a court system and ruling over kingdoms. It's something he saw beforehand. He's just twisting it to work for him. So it has to look like what's already in place. So you will accept it. The only difference is he tells you the works that the Most High wants you to do, you ain't going to last. You got to do that till you dead or he come back first. You come on my side of the playing field and I'll give it to you tomorrow. Now what you want to do? I ain't got all day. I got other people want to serve the devil. What you gonna do? You got to serve the devil. What you gonna do? Okay. Oh, by the way, there's a couch over there. I need you to cast yourself on to seal this deed. Now what you gonna do? You think the old lady was mad about them $20? How you think she gonna be, her lips gonna be when you come home with your boxer shorts on back with the stick in the back? Let's read some more, y'all, because I gotta get caught up.
Verse 13.
Yeah.
If we believe not, yet he abideth faithful. He cannot deny himself.
What can he not do?
Deny himself. Of these things, put them in remembrance. Charging them before the Lord, that they strive not about words to no profit, but to the, how you say that? Subverting of the hearer.
See, words that don't profit not, we can't waste our time with them. Just like I said in GOCC, we were talking about the instructions of what's decreasing and increasing. They said you must be water baptized, or salvation ain't coming to you. We ain't saw that in here, especially when we asked about Acts 19 chapter. And then if we would have backed it up to some Acts 18, which I got these down, we're going to go to them, and y'all going to see a whole difference in decrease and increase, and then ask them again, what's the decrease and the increase? See, the whole deal is they move you from those words, increase and decrease, to over here, and you're going to get punished if you don't do this over here. So you're telling me that this over here is the increase. Keep them right with what we're discussing. If you move over here, you're going to miss this. If you get water baptized, there's still a decrease and an increase is talking about. Who knows the increase and the decrease after you get water baptized? Which one is increase, which one is decrease? What does that mean? He shall increase, I shall decrease. What does it mean? That's the same silence we get when we ask them about that. So you telling me if I don't get water baptized, you don't know what the decrease and increase is, so what am I going to know? It's the same as I got baptized when I went to church. I came up still a wet sinner. Because I still didn't know what sin was. How you gonna get baptized and not know what the Holy Spirit is about? And this gift is bringing. You're gonna come up just like the Pharisees. And you know what it's gonna be? About what? And I ain't talking about bullets. I'm hustling. Let's get back to this, y'all.
Verse 14.
Uh-huh.
We're gonna restart.
No, I want you to go 15.
All right, 15. Study to show thyself approved.
Who you gonna study to show approved to?
Thyself approved.
Thyself, y'all. This is on everybody. If you don't study to show yourself approved, you're gonna have some problems. You can't call us in the middle of the night. You can, but what if you don't get us? What happens then? What you gonna do in the midst of this? And you said, I'm repping this brand name. And you got Gucci on. You'll talk about where you got that from, the real store. Not from the service station. This real Gucci. We rock all of that, but when it comes down to this brand name, what we doing? Substitute. Let's get some more. What else is that?
15. Study to show thyself approved unto God, a workman that needeth not to be ashamed.
Right.
Rightfully dividing the word of truth.
See, you can wrongfully divide the word of truth. 2. That's what we have to watch out for, y'all. Wrongly dividing of the word. But you have to be able to do it when you come on this side. So hold that. That's all we wanted to get to. And, read that verse 16 for us.
Verse 16. But shun profane and vain babblings, for they will increase unto more ungodly.
So we see what this increase is about if you don't study to show thyself approved. What does this increase mean?
It says, for they will increase into more ungodly.
So if you don't study and get yourself together, you're going to increase in more ungodliness. Because that's what's happening with the church. Once you take the law away, what else do they got to increase in?
Sin.
Because you're saying, now, what you mean I can? That's what he died for. Baby, I'm on my way. I just found out what me and you doing don't count. Yes, I got to run to sunflower seeds and the Hennessy. Yeah. What else? I should be there by 2 in the morning. You're only going to increase it because there ain't nothing there to say stop. Put them seeds back. Did we finish that?
Yeah.
Y'all good on that? Okay. So y'all, we get to understand it now. Let's just get to the rules right quick, y'all, so we get to understand it. 1 Corinthians 13. No, but I'm looking for 2 Corinthians 13.
13 and 1.
13 and 1. I want Deuteronomy 19:5 and Deuteronomy 17. And we're going to get an established order, y'all. Then we'll move on because we got about a good hour.
In the book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 13, verse 1 Hebrew.
Yeah.
Verse 1. Verse 1. This is the third time I am coming to you. In the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses shall every word be established.
In the mouth of what?
2 or 3 witnesses, every word should be established.
So give me y'all see now that how we have to establish the word in the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses. So every scripture you hear should have a mate to it that paints the same exact picture about the same exact situation. It won't be different. It won't be this and then it'll say this and think about it.
Right.
You won't say Joseph had sex with Mary and then when she was on her way to Elizabeth's house and she went through the coast of Judea, guess who else lived in Judea? And everybody in the class hollered, Joseph! What happened about Earl who worked at the tire shop? How about Peter? How about Judas? How about any one of them living in Judea? What you think gonna happen if you talk loud like that?
You're going to be removed by
You're
your
out of class.
go, Will.
Yeah. So y'all, this is what we're talking about. They must line up, or you will precept falsely. Give me some Deuteronomy 17, I believe it is.
6 through 7.
6 through 7, yeah.
Yeah, whole Deuteronomy 19, 15.
Yeah. You know what I'm going about. Let's get these last two, y'all, then we'll move on into the class teacher. We're going to get first and get the armor of the Most High on, and then we'll get to some situations where you have to be studied up in how should we start for a new God. You know, where should I start at? Should I start in Genesis? And we're going to get you your starting point. And then you're on your own from that perspective. So to speak, we're just a phone call away, so to speak, but we can't be your so-called your hit button that all I got to do is press this button and they'll show up. Yeah, I was asleep, man. It'll be up in another hour. What you need? Go ahead.
Deuteronomy chapter 17, verse 6.
What it say?
Deuteronomy chapter 17, verse 6. At the mouth of 2 witnesses, or 3 witnesses, shall he that is worthy of death be put to death. But at the mouth of 1 witness, he shall not be put to death. The hands of the witness shall be first upon him to put him to death, and afterward the hands of all the people. So thou shalt put the evil away from among you.
See, you couldn't even put nobody to death at the mouth of 2 witnesses, unless the witnesses had to be first. Because if you lying, the death angel coming for you. So you saw him first, you throw the first stone and kill him. You be the first one. Don't pass that to us. Like the Pharisees passed the buck. They holler crucify him, but they passed the buck. They'd been better off throwing the stones they said. So we see that witness. Go ahead.
So when 1 witness couldn't put anyone to death, like even in the court today, they got to double up.
That's right.
If you confess it verbally, they still need to sign off on it.
Right.
You feel me? 2 witnesses, 1 verbal and 1 signing or whatever. If they was gonna convict you, they need more than 1 witness.
That's right.
You feel me? So they still playing by the rules of this Bible right here, even though it's on the left-hand side or whatever.
Right.
They still, it's not original in what they're doing. They still need 2 or 3 witnesses. So even dealing with the scripture, when you bring out any type of point of, like if we was talking about the new covenant or whatever, you would go into Jeremiah 31 and Hebrews 8 and 8. Those are 2 witnesses. That's Paul and Jeremiah talking about the new covenant. You feel me? So that's you bringing 2 witnesses to the table to discuss or define what topic we're talking about. So with that being said, no one should be able to open up the Bible and give you 1 verse and shut the Bible and say, okay, that's what it is. You tell them, where's your other witness to? And what you mean witnesses? Well, according to the Bible, you gotta have at least 2 witnesses to establish this matter right here. Or what you saying to be an opinion. Anybody can one line a verse and have to say anything.
That's right.
You feel me? But when you bring your other witnesses into play, now you're forced to deal with it, dealing with it in its true nature.
Right.
You understand? That's how you study the Bible. Never let somebody one line. You feel me? Because they'll do that even with Paul. They'll open up a Galatians verse, read Galatians 5:18 and close the Bible.
That's right.
And have you thinking you ain't got to keep no type of commandments dealing with the Most High. But that's not even what Paul was talking about. You dig? So never let anybody one line you. They brought 1 witness to the table and you let them get that off. You know better now. So since you know better, anybody bring you 1 verse, kindly ask them, where's your other witness? If you don't know what you mean, another witness. Go to the scriptures that bro just quoted. 2 Corinthians, look at the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses. Every matter must be established, even if we talk about salvation. Even if we talk about the Messiah. Whatever we talking about, you gotta have more than 1 witness to prove your point. If not, you could be hustling the people. You know what I'm saying? Just so you can lord over somebody.
That's right.
So it's on y'all. And the scripture always say, be not deceived. You know what I'm saying?
Well, a cat can get up here looking good, smelling good, you be lusting over him, whatever. He give you one verse. He got to be a man of God. Close the Bible, and you swallow it hook, line, and sinker. You know better now.
That's right.
Man and woman, and your children, we raise them up the same way. Never let anybody bring you one verse and shut the Bible. Where the other witness at?
That's right.
And that lets you know at least he's been studying, trying to prove what he's saying.
Because ain't that what they say to you when you get them to? Well, it's obvious you've been studying. That's automatic off of their lips. This is the power of the word. Because when you're quoting, they haven't been trained to do that. They're trained to cry. And that's right, amen. Go on, preach. But if he send them out there, they don't know because they ain't been trained properly. Right?
Yeah.
So they send you out, sheep among wolves with no training. We among the wolves, but at least we got the weapons to ward them off. He didn't send us out blindly to be bludgeoned to death.
Right.
Go ahead, brother. You finish that?
We got Deuteronomy
19 and then Matthew 16, 18, 16, y'all, and we'll move forward.
Deuteronomy chapter 19, verse 15.
These are the law on witnesses. I got them up on the board too. Y'all need to write them down for your notes or whatever. Precept must be upon precept.
That's right.
Line upon line. Just basically saying you gotta have at least 2 or 3 witnesses to prove your point. If not, you need to go on back to the drawing board over there. All right, what's your name after what?
Oh, we're gonna go to 18, 16.
Oh, that's right, too, yeah.
Deuteronomy chapter 19, verse 15. One witness shall not rise up against a man for any iniquity.
For what?
For any iniquity.
Y'all understand what this is saying? This don't say that one witness even for the iniquity of the person. You still can't charge him. You still have to play by the rules. You can't say, I saw it alone or whatever it is. There has to be a second witness, even if it's the Holy Spirit. It's going to prove to you on date and hour, it's going to tell you exactly what happened to this individual as a second witness. That was an interpreter of dreams. When he goes, Joe, I go back and I talk to my father about your dream. He done heard about it, but he has to get a second witness. And sleep fall over him and they come to him, tell him these 7 years or 7 times, fat and lean. The first one gonna be fat, first 3.5, second half gonna be thin and out, thin in the herd. Go tell him this was happening to him, coming to him. So now we got 2 witnesses understanding this dream that's coming from the Lord. Anything short of that, you're wasting your time. One ain't gonna never get it done. They won't even let you be one witness with yourself. You can't send yourself to the penitentiary unless you verbally say it and then sign your confession.
Yeah, 2 witnesses.
What brings in an appeal? You coerced me to sign it. You brought in, what's that dude's name? BOE Club, and you put him on my head with a phone book. Okay, I'll sign. Hey, you can't, and that's the other side of it. You can't coerce a second witness. Or they throw it out of court, right?
Right.
Let's get some more. We finished that?
No.
Okay.
One witness shall not rise up against a man for any iniquity, or for any sin, in any sin that he sinned, at the mouth of 2 witnesses, or at the mouth of 3 witnesses, shall the matter be established.
See, it has to have multiple, because it could be a personal issue.
Yeah.
Yo, that's why when it comes down to marriage, we ain't no Negro Dr. Fields around here. Ain't no counseling session, sit down and you go on and tell me your side. Now come on, Earl. Now you could have gotten flowers. What's wrong with that? And you could have cooked his hamburger helper with green fries. What stopped you from it? Look, it's down to, it's 2 sides of the story and then it's the truth. Both of us got a part in this, that's why we split apart. Who gonna blame who? And then if you do start to split apart and it comes down to the blame game, we go into the gutter. And we going where the most serious part of the armor of the Lord is to gird your loins with truth.
Yeah.
This is finna be exposed that there was no truth there. Why? Because the covenant is on the end of a man, on his vessel. So we going, this is what needs to be guarded. So this is where everybody go to. Every curse word that you call a person is in that area. Anybody know any other curse words that is not pointing toward that area? You mother, for all awful carnal knowledge. You black bastard, what is that? It's related to that. Yeah, that. A hoe. Call a woman. You can't understand normal thinking. Some of y'all are getting it. Yeah. So all of it's labeled in that area, and that's what's going to come out at a counseling session, which no man should be notified of that information. No man other than this party should be concerned with that. Not an outside. Most High say, I got rules for y'all. Y'all can't make it here. If that eye fit, at least cut it off. Just cut that off. But you better not be cutting it off for foolishness. But he don't get into that. He tells you, these the rules. If y'all ain't playing for the other part, cut it off. If you can work it out, stay together, work it out, do what you need to do. But the Most High ain't even coming in between that. So how are we going to let a counselor sit on the couch and we sitting on there and telling on each other? Right. Ain't nobody telling no good thing. Order. And you know when he got his bonus check, he didn't have to tell me, but he spent it all on me. You think that's going to be said to the counselor? No. Say it to the counselor. Let's move on, y'all. Where we at? Matthew 18:16.
Matthew 18:16.
Matthew 18. Book of Matthew, chapter 18, verse 14. Even so, it is not the will of your...
There is a page.
Yes. And you see the Messiah always said, I and my Father are one. Didn't he say that? He keeps talking about his two witnesses here.
Yeah.
I and my Father. These are two witnesses. Yeah, on these right quick, and then we're going to get right into that Ephesians 6. And then y'all just want to get into just some understanding and some study one-on-one, because what I want to establish first is the rules. Once you know the rules, any engagement into this spiritual battle, so to speak, the spiritual war, everybody that's in this has to play for even the devil. Because all of the creation is of the Most High, so everybody's going to be on board. Y'all ain't hearing nobody arguing about no other scripture. Who y'all been in arguing to about the Quran? They don't even argue about it. Egyptologists, if you told them right now, show me that in the book of the dead, what they going to do?
It ain't there. They gonna scratch.
Just looking at you like I'm looking at y'all. What is the book of the dead? But everybody trying to get in on this, and all the interpretations flying out the window, because y'all think about it. If you don't tell them 15 to get on board in dominoes, how can you stop me from nicking to get on? Right. 5. All y'all looking. Who got the ink pen? And man, you know it's, I don't know nothing. I don't know nothing. We don't play that when y'all say that. Where everybody who play that, I don't know about them games over there. Y'all ain't said nothing about 10 to get on board. You count by 5, so I'm starting with 5 because y'all didn't say this. And then 5 thereafter. Put the 5 down. They can do us the same way. If you let them talk Aaron to you and we under Melchizedek, you let them in under the old Lord. Now you scrap. Now it's a war between the law done away with, is it under the schoolmaster, or are we on the spirit of Galatians 5? Is the fruit of the spirit, where we at? We all over the place now. And guess what we're going to do? We're going to part like this. See, bro just did a lesson over there with an old dude, church boy. Said he played by the rules, but he reneged. He told you. Now, if we was playing spades, he would be set. But you don't want to get set for the lake of fire, I'm telling you. Let's get it. Where we at?
You start carrying around bad days, you be cut like
Absolutely.
Absolutely. 18, 16.
He wasn't prepared. That's what it was.
Go ahead. Absolutely right.
It's another thing we be doing when we be banging doctrine too. I noticed what I've been doing, and I've been getting correct on it lately. We be giving them their homework.
Yes.
We giving them the answers. They ask, you know what I'm saying? We got to know. If you coming at me, you want to bother me in my doctrine, you know it all. Answer it yourself. You tell me where it's at. You know what I'm saying? So we be working too hard too sometimes.
It's patient. It's patient. It's that microwave generation we on. We right here because I've been waiting, y'all. I've been waiting. I got my boys with me. I've been waiting. So I'm going to ask it before you even ask the question good. I'm going to say, I know it. No, because at least let them condemn themselves, because what all they got to say? That's what I was going to say.
Right.
What you going to say? It's like that old uncle from Mississippi that asked the question and answer before you do.
Right.
Why your kids at home ain't no school? What did mama make? No, we can't fall into that. Go ahead, John. Where we at?
Book of Matthew chapter 18. What you say,
Verse 16.
Verse 16. Book of Matthew chapter 18, verse 16. But if he will not hear thee,
Start at 15.
15. Moreover, if thy brother shall trespass against thee, go and tell him his faults between thee and him alone.
See, that's 2. Right? Go ahead.
If he shall hear thee, thou hast gained thy brother.
It's clear. The matter's over at this point. Go ahead.
But if he will not hear thee, then take with thee 1 or 2 more, that in thy mouth of 2 or that in the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses every word may be established.
If you see that word established keep popping up. See, all we're talking about, it ain't the number of witnesses per se. You need a number of witnesses, but it's to establish a matter. We still, no matter if we got 2 or 3, it's to establish the matter, to get a foundation. Like every building on the corner of it got EST and then the date that it was established on. Your birth certificate got your established date on it of birth. So when we get through talking, we have to establish what the matter is first. Is it transgression starting out the gate? Or is we just running a 2-witness rule? We ain't got a clue about what we talking about. What needs to be established? Yo, we can stop a lot of this without getting anybody else involved if both parties that's involved know what we're trying to establish. You call me a black so-and-so. I called you an ugly so-and-so. So a black so-and-so is worse than an ugly so-and-so. And you call me, man, we talk about who the ugliest. This is what it comes down to, y'all. We can hold that, y'all. Did we finish that, bro? Yeah. Okay, let's get to Ephesians 6 about this armor, y'all.
Jump on the board, y'all. Ephesians 6.
Y'all, we got to have this armor on us before we even go into the battle. So first, so far, y'all, what we got is everything must be established by 2 witnesses.
That's right. That's
law, statutes, and judgments. All must be established by 2 witnesses that paint the same picture.
Yeah.
Right? See, let me tell you another way why y'all getting that. Like some people ask, well, masturbation is in a sin. And they go to Genesis 35, well, Onan spilled his seed on the ground. 25, we ain't establishing nothing here. Know why? Because way over here, what Onan did ain't got nothing to do with a man whooping himself like it over a month. This way over here. a man that took on the covenant of the daughters of Zelophehad and to give seed to his brother who died and didn't have no children. He got the goods, but he didn't want to offer the offspring. That ain't got nothing to do with this over here. Nothing to do with that. It's totally somewhere else you can bring this topic up. But this ain't what you can bring as a witness to say it's sin. Right here. Because he wasn't punished for that. In that same language, it tells you. And the thing that he did was evil. Which part of it was evil? So y'all, once we understand the law and how it explains itself, that's the first study to show thyself approved. Understanding the charges that's being leveled against you and the charges that you level against somebody else. Then we can move forward. Other than that, how you gonna correct me as doing something I ain't even doing wrong, and you got me doing wrong? It's what the Pharisees were doing. You have made these people twofold more the child of hell than yourself. Let's read that. Ephesians.
That's Genesis 38, y'all.
Genesis 38.
Yeah, about that curse of Rome.
We're in the book of Ephesians, chapter 6, verse 10. Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Most High.
Be what?
Be strong in the Most High.
See, the minute you start talking about, well, I don't know what scripture, that's weak in these scriptures. Stay at home, stay in the gym till you get ready. Keep hitting the heavy bag. Because if you're not strong in this, somebody's going to show you a weakness. And when they show you a weakness, you may end up trying to leave this game or go totally left field. Go ahead.
And in the power of his might.
In the power of what?
His might.
How you going to show mighty works and you weak? Go ahead, brother.
Put on the whole armor of Yah.
Put on the half armor.
The whole armor.
Just the shoe.
The whole armor.
Go ahead.
That ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil.
See, if you don't put this on, you can't stand against the wiles of the devil. The whole armor, y'all. I'm not talking, you can't leave the house. Some football players wear the shoulder pads and just a helmet. No elbow pads, no knee pads, no girdle. And vulnerable parts are left open. You cannot leave any vulnerability to the devil because he's going to find it. Where we at?
Verse 12. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world.
You see what we fight against, y'all? If you think we worried about some Negroes talking about this the only place and they marching in line talking about we done been through soldier camp, is that a concern?
No. Bullets can't kill spirits. Nobody, none of that.
Y'all seen what happened to the old boy in the movie Ghost when he wrote boo on there and he started firing that pistol? But he ran down them steps running from what bullets didn't do. Willie. And then run out the street and get killed. And guess what got him? So, yo, we don't wrestle against flesh and blood, y'all. Because all the AKs and 9mm, what happens if a pilot loses an engine? And the Sirius building look like a good landing spot. So he thinks. What happened to us down here trapped with smoke and can't get to that up out of there? Resurrection ain't it? So y'all, we got to understand these things. Death ain't promised us. Tomorrow we say it ain't promised us. And we seeing Israel has had a bad week this week. Killed gas people. Mother torturing her son. Rogue Israelite with a full beard thick as Rick Ross. Wife with him, he killed an old man. And blame it on her. It's her fault that I'm killing you. That I'm murdering you, I should say. That I'm shedding your innocent blood. For her, because what she did to me. But all she did was find out his boxer shorts was on back.
Egyptologist dude in Fresno, California.
And then the Fresno boy just killed three people too, 4 people. Now he say I'm a Muslim, but his name is Black Jesus.
Anywhere else, he got a
And he got hogs. He said I'm into 7 different religions.
crazy.
Walked back to every spot and told them how and why I kill people. All of these Israelites.
Bad week, boy.
Bad week for Israel, y'all. Y'all, what we gonna do if that's what it does? We gonna cover it up, or we gonna explain what it is? Rogue Israelites don't know the rules of the game.
Sure, explain.
It's plain and simple. Tribulation and anguish to who?
Jew first.
Let's read some more.
Verse 12 again. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places.
What kind of wickedness?
Spiritual wickedness.
So y'all, to get up in arms about this physical, y'all, we wasting our time, y'all. This is way bigger. Do you know Donald Trump, in his inauguration, they did a good lesson on that. His spiritual upviews coming into his presidency. He had to go and see a priest, an oracle, so to speak, to bring him in, and they conjured up a few things in that. Barack had one at first, it was Jeremiah Wright, but he said down with this country. And hell with Babylon. They like, no, you got the wrong oracle. Get that list over there. There's an Episcopal, Jonathan Jackson. Good Negro, you'll love him. And he became, guess who it was now? Al Sharpton.
Right.
You go from Jeremiah Wright to Al Sharpton.
Hey, what happened to him though?
Jeremiah Wright?
The one that said, they said, the Bible say Babylon gonna burn.
G.D. America.
Yeah.
On the background. Still out there. But been labeled a hate monger. All of us been there. But they tell you, no, you can't have him advising spiritual matters in this higher place of spiritual wickedness.
Right.
Nancy Reagan was a what? Witness. A witness. Advising Ronald what to do.
Right. She was great. His man Stroud.
Albert Einstein's wife. Look her up. A sorcerer. All of them, when they go to these spiritual high places, y'all, they are getting their instructions from supernatural powers. This is the name that they're calling on. It ain't saying Beelzebub. The Messiah said, y'all call me Beelzebub, but all y'all doing is just bringing down Beelzebub's house. Because if I'm Beelzebub and I just heal the blind and that lame man is walking, and he walked since he was 13, then Beelzebub on his way out the door. So it's not about that name, it's about the works. What you got, brother?
They figure out how to make us do wrong when I sit at the door. We think we can run through the street.
Right.
We think we can run through the street. Like that one right up on the foot.
Right.
You want to read up there.
Right. In the penitentiary day. So, and y'all, this is to believe a lie. Like when he said 2 or 3 witnesses can't, if you got one, then you're choosing to believe a lie. If somebody just asks, what the second witness said? Man, you got time for all that now, man. This is a serious matter, dog. This is serious. It ain't that serious. Ain't no other witness.
Dad, I got to say something real quick.
Go ahead, bro.
Also, when y'all get a chance, read the history of Susanna and the Apocrypha.
Yes, sir.
This is a situation where 2 witnesses didn't line up. They were trying to put this woman to death.
Right.
All because they was lusting over.
Right.
She was a man's wife. They actually plotted to run a train on her.
Pretty much.
Right. You feel me?
Right.
And she stood to her morals. She stood to her God. You understand that Daniel was a young man. Called them on it. It was like separate them real quick. Like doing the first 48 hours.
Yeah.
Put you separate rooms, and neither one of their stories added up.
Right.
And in the end, they ended up getting killed because they were trying to send this sister to the judgment, all because they were lusting after her. She was another man's wife. You understand?
Yeah.
So this was a situation where 2 witnesses didn't line up. Your witnesses must match for it to be legit. If it don't add up, then it's off.
So y'all read that. It's called The History of Susanna. I'm gonna put it up on the board.
It's in the part. History of Susanna.
Look, that lets you know too how serious two witnesses is. 'Cause that was for the kill her.
Yeah.
Because of two people, and that was two elders too.
Right.
That lets you know how the people view two witnesses. You know what I'm saying? The young lion, like, no, man, the spirit ain't right with this one. Let me go and check. Let me check these elders.
Right.
Separate them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. All right, where we at?
Jeff got me in the fight.
Read them, we get a chance. You love the story.
Yeah.
We're in the book of Ephesians, chapter 6, verse 13.
What a second.
Wherefore, take unto you the whole armor of Yahweh, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all, to stand. Stand therefore, having your loins girt about you with truth.
Having your what?
Your loins girt about with truth.
See, why do y'all think it's that area that truth has to be when it starts off there?
Wow.
Because that's what's causing all the problems. That started death in the garden. That's what started everything. Let's get back to, and let's correct where we got started, where we went wrong at. It's still going wrong to this day. You break up, it's the first thing to come up, ain't it?
Yeah.
Oh, so you was accepting all that wrong till you think that wrong is being done to somebody else.
Yeah.
Now you want to tell it. Well, you got a stone in your hand. You can't be a witness to your own crime. Not like that. And blame somebody else and then not come back on you too. That's the woman caught in sin. We caught her in the very act of adultery. All of them had rocks. Besides, they let him without sin cast the first stone. Just like that Deuteronomy just read. Those witnesses that sin can't be part of the same sin. So the first man that had his hand back like this was the one that was in the bed with him. If you call it in the very act, why ain't both of them standing there? With the shame face like this. So you start breaking both of them. But the one was like this, was like, we need to silence this immediately. Then they left off. He said, well, I can't condemn this. I just heard about what you did. And this is the Messiah. I'm one witness. But what he tell him? Go and sin no more. I know you're sin, but you're getting off the hook. That's why we couldn't put her to death, even though it's a sin and it's a transgression. You can't put him to death still. I said, I can't put you to death. No. He could have. He can get second, third witness real easy. Can show exactly what's going on and which one of them in the crowd he was. But he said, I don't condemn you either. Go and do what? Sin no more. So he didn't say you were forgiven. He said, I just can't put you to death, just like the law said.
Right.
Go ahead, bro.
And look, and that lets you know the spiritual levels that the Messiah is working on, though. Because whenever he did anything or talked about anything, he always said, look, I and my Father bear record in heaven of these gifts and these spiritual things that I'm doing. So he even kept the order of the witness. You know what I'm saying? He constantly said that, hey, me and my Father bear record. You know what I'm saying? Of what these attributes the Holy Spirit is giving off on everybody. So we see him keeping the same order. Just putting that out there.
Go ahead, bro.
Verse 14. Stand therefore,
right,
having your loins girt about with truth, and having on the breastplate of righteousness, and your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace.
See, ready to walk, and your feet is not running to walk. See, so when you go, I'm going to bust this such and such head. Here, Sunday worship. You can't do it from that perspective. You got to be looking at the point. I want him to get rid of that doctrine because he got 200 people in this church. That's 200 on this side. Guess what that do for the sins on your jacket? All of them come over here. Or if he got the truth and all us go over there, it's still soul saving, ain't it? It's about salvation, ain't it?
Yeah.
So that's what we in it for, not to go tear down and not build back up. All you're going to have is a trail of death. No, he's a living God. You got to teach life first. And then tell them, you know, so you choose death. Let them choose death. It's not for you to choose death for them. It's just like he was just reading where it said, you know, you bring it upon yourself. You choose to believe a lie. The scripts say do it this way with 2 witnesses. Once you let me on board for 5. Now you ain't playing fair. You ain't playing fair. You have to cut it, backtrack, regroup, and come back again. You can't look at it like, I'll just go the extra mile and I'll just blurt out anything. Like I did. When they asked me why you can't eat duck, I said because they have webbed feet. Well, that's written in. Well, when Nerf and Uncle Jim got through laughing me to stone, it didn't happen no more. Oh no, the law, Deuteronomy 14, Leviticus 11. It still don't say duck, but there's no water birds being eaten. Land birds, all we asking is what water bird is eating. Is duck a water bird? What you got, bro?
I had learned about the hill system they gave. Sure. A lot of people be trying to steer away from the Bible saying, it doesn't teach about the seven chakras. In Ephesians 14 and 15, if I'm not mistaken, that's speaking on the root chakra and the walking into the way of righteousness. Ephesians 14.
So what book you reading from?
What we just read?
Ephesians 6, verse 14.
Yeah.
Stand therefore, and is breaking down the armor of the Lord.
Stand therefore, having your loins girt about with truth, and having on the breastplate of righteousness, and to say, your feet shall with preparation of the gospel of peace. So when a lot of people try to work on self-development, they lead to the seven chakras, and they try to say, that's not the Bible. Well, if I'm not mistaken, I just read about the root chakra, which is walking to the way of righteousness. And two is the loin chakra, the burden of the truth.
Sacral chakra.
Right, and I said he did a class on that, so it's one out there on the humility concerning everything you just spoke of. Yeah, so the deal is what throws people out because you're using the word chakra. So you have to explain how that relates to the scripture. So once that's understood, they won't think you're talking another language. You're saying they copy this process from here. So we're not hustling backwards. You have to explain first where they got it from. Like the devil don't have his own imagination. The plan of the world was already there. Everything that he does, he copied from the original. Yeah. So y'all, when you start saying different things like, you can't do this, you can't do that, the devil thought that up. The devil didn't think nothing of it. The devil just copied it and run his program with it. Yeah. But he sees everything and he said, that's the only way he can get you to worship him is to show you what's original. Right. And then put a twist on it.
Yeah. That's why I watched the whole video. I'm like, look, they took this from the Bible.
Yeah, Dad is showing you how you won't be hustling backwards. Because somebody be like, show me that word in the Bible.
Yeah.
You feel me? Well, we ain't got to do all that, but we can go point all the energy points y'all saying right there on that chart. That feet, that loins, that breastplate, that helmet.
Solar plate.
You feel me? Everything you talking about is right here. Just leave it at that. You feel me? And lead you to the way of righteousness.
That's right.
And keep you from arguing with folk about frivolous knowledge. You know what I'm saying? What's up?
They're showing you any way the devil can come into you. First, it's going to be physical. You have to walk to wickedness. So your feet is preparation with peace. Peace, you ain't doing nothing illegal. You're not walking to illegal areas. It's not Proverbs 7. He's walking down, let's say, the dark streets and don't know where he's going. And she called, come on in. The bed ready. The good man is gone. My husband is gone. His feet wasn't shod with the preparation of the gospel. Satan said, walk this way. Talk this way. Come on now, let's get where we at on this.
We're in the book of Ephesians, chapter 6, verse 16. Above all, taking the shield of faith.
See, y'all, without the shield of faith, without trusting that the Most High is going to get this done for you. That's the shield of faith. Whether if y'all take my life, I know what the end is regardless. Y'all know y'all losing. If y'all chop my head off with this shield of faith that I got, Thanks for putting me in the kingdom.
That's right.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate that.
Appreciate it.
But that ain't what the devil gonna do. He gonna make sure you sin. This nigga here, look what he doing over here. And this ain't the half of it. You'd have saw him at the soul circle when he put his hand up that elephant.
For what?
Hey, let's keep reading.
Above all, taking the shield of faith, wherewith ye shall be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked.
See, and what is faith? Faith is something hoped for. The evidence is something that's not seen. You got to have that. And say, this is what you got to believe first. You got to be fully persuaded in yourself in the faith of a Mashiach that nobody is going to water him down to a blemished lamb. From everything I read, that's what I'm representing. That's my true faith. And I got backup here. I got backup starting in Genesis. And my backup go run all the way over here. But they try to pinpoint your faith right here and lock it in. You see right there? Grace abound. Nope. My faith says keep reading. And it says, shall we sin because grace is abound? God what? Forbid. That's what we're talking about. Let's keep moving.
Verse 17. And take the helmet of salvation.
The helmet of what?
Of salvation. And the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of Yahweh.
Now you see what you got on your head? Salvation. Because this is your true heart. This is what you have to think from. You got to have a helmet on that. You got to protect your thought process.
Guard your grill, baby.
Guard your grill. You can't let nobody in there and become the driver. Because they ain't going to drive like you do. And you know that in the physical world. Why you have to give instructions when you get your keys up? Now look. Here you go. Bring my gas tank back like you found it. Look, you know I don't drive my car around on cold grading. Don't have a car. When you get through with the rules, they say, here, I'll get my own car. Go ahead. Where we at?
We're in verse 18. Pray always with all prayer and supplication in the Spirit.
Why we're going to be praying? We're going to be praying in
the Spirit. And watching thereunto with all perseverance and supplication for all saints.
With all perseverance, y'all. That means I'm going full-fledged, full power on this. I got my foot on the gas pedal on this one, y'all. Ain't no turning back. No, the river mirror is just to see where I came from. But I'm looking forward. I'm not looking back there. That's why it's the rearview mirror.
Right.
I'm just seeing what I'm leaving behind. Now, if I make a U-turn and go back where I came from, I got problems, man. I got problems if I make a U-turn. I'm just looking back in the window. Woo, got out of there just in time. Let's get right to some 2 Corinthians chapter 10, y'all. We're just going to move through a couple of these. 2 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 3 and 4. Write it down for me now. James chapter 4, verse 1 through 4. And Romans 13 and 12, y'all. But the questions of where do I start? It depends on where we at in the dispensation of the second coming of the Messiah. We out of the schoolmaster. Everybody agrees on that. So we shouldn't be looking in the rearview mirror for that, right? We shouldn't be doing nothing talking about sacrificing bulls and goats, right? That's right. And if they do convince you that the New Testament don't exist, ask them, who are they sacrificing? Who are they bulls and goats going to? I mean, who they taking them to? Just ask that question and see what they say.
They ain't.
They ain't. So you're saying the same thing the Christians say. Walk around with all your sins and don't repent for them. It's the same thing. It's just Hebrew Christianity. It just moved to the other side of the coin. Only difference between me and Sunday is I know who I am. They still think they Gentile, but you don't know who you are either. You still have denied the faith.
Yeah.
You still in the same boat that you was. You just got another boat with a hole in the bottom.
What was that, James?
James chapter 4, verse 1 through 4, and Romans chapter 13, verse 12. So y'all, what we're trying to establish is how do you start? You have to start with the rules. The rules is let everything be established with two witnesses. In the law, we just read Deuteronomy 17 and 19, two witnesses talking about the same thing. Right. And then move to two witnesses in the New Testament. The Messiah and Paul, two witnesses up there, who both stated that I come to keep the commandments of the Father.
So they both are playing by the rules.
Both are playing by the rules. If you don't establish that, y'all, it's going to be trouble. You want a perfect example of it? Look at the debate he just had. They start off in there, and the dude said, I agree. But when it got hot and he went to that one witness he thought, Galatians 1. And unbutton another button on his shirt. Pride. And they like, we want you to keep reading. You're one witness. And he would not do it. And then he said, bro, you played about it. You said I agree to the rule. He said, that was your rule. Even though you agreed to it.
He said that was your rules and your interpretation.
See, now he cold upon his head because he came in and didn't have no understanding of what he was talking about. He was trying to catch up. Because what he thought was he was dealing with some young brothers on the Black Power movement. Yeah, got some young brothers over. What? I deal with that in the penitentiary. What you say? Look, I'm about to get me a Slurpee. I'll be on over there. Yeah. Okay. And when he got there, it was a rude awakening. So now it's my way out the door. Let me show see if he'll jump, and then I at least get some satisfaction with him throwing a heavy right hand to my jawbone. That's the only thing they're going to remember. They ain't going to remember I fought in Galatians 19. So I got to stir this up, and that's how the devil plays. I got to get you to disrespect the name of your father. You've been sitting in there talking about it. Let's read some more. Where we at? 2 Corinthians
10, 1-4, the weapons of our warfare.
Yeah.
2 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 1. Now I, Paul, myself beseech you by the meekness and greatness of Christ. Meekness and gentleness of Christ, who in presence am base among you, but being absent am bold toward you. But I beseech you that I may not be bold when I am present with that confidence, wherewith I think to be bold against some, which think of us as if we walk according to the flesh.
See, he got to get bold with the non-messianics because they think we walking with the flesh. Man, we don't do flesh here. Flesh is iron. We doing Melchizedek. It's spirit and truth and power. We don't do flesh. I'll get bold with you. Because some you have to pull out of the fire. Some you just speak this and they be like the Messiah told Peter. Who told you that? He said, no man revealed that to you. No flesh and blood. That was the Holy Spirit. Your answer. That's what we own. Go ahead, brother.
For though we walk in the flesh, we do not war after the flesh.
Y'all understand that? Though we walk after the flesh. You going Mordecai?
Yeah.
Okay. We do not what?
War after the flesh.
So it ain't evil for evil. It's not rendering evil for evil. You have to, we do not war after the flesh. Go ahead, brother.
For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal.
Or not what?
Are not carnal.
Why is we talking 9mm? Why are we talking AR-15?
You on vice land, have to target practice.
Do you know 100 ISIS soldiers got their burial all at one time when they dropped that Moab bomb on? Y'all, what is a 9mm gonna do with Moab? And that ain't even thermonuclear. They drop a Moab bomb in this parking lot out here, we through. It's gonna collapse anything, it's an imploding bomb. Everything goes to the middle and it sucks it down. What is a 9mm gonna do with that? Them boys out of New York just got a new training video where they just graduated soldiers, hitting that heavy bag with their elbow. How you training in a church shirt and dress shoes? Hey, yo, I didn't make it up. He sent it to me. And then it say we present him to you. Well, I'm still breathing on. I mean, I ain't seen a soldier in no army repping. You can't see that straight line from the shirt matching up with the belt buckle in a straight line. Stomachs is.
They seem like all they biggest fat boys too.
That's all move there. Look, it's not a regimen to get you in shape. It's just to convince your mind that I'm a fleshly soldier.
They're recruiting slaves. They're not recruiting free men.
Hey,
What you see? Dan and Jake early this week. As soon as I got it, gonna be some
hey y'all, but let's move on, y'all. We run out of time. We got about 15 minutes, y'all.
Verse 4 again. For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through Yahweh to the pulling down of strongholds.
See, your weapon have to pull down a stronghold. Y'all, one leader subverting a whole house is a stronghold. A person in position in power is a stronghold that has to be pulled down, so that everybody gets free. That's what our weapons are about. Our weapons ain't about lording over nobody. But private, Kool-Aid. Right. Like the way he answers. But they can't answer that way. They have to get going to their Kool-Aid jug and bring it back and sit it before them, just like all the rest of them do. It's just like, not to get you off track, Samuel 1, when it says, he told Samuel, Samuel, it ain't your fault. Israel gone crazy. They got the king of the universe, but gonna give them a king that they like. But guess what? Their sons and daughters gonna be confectionaries. They gonna work for the past. He gonna work them like mules. He gonna do this to them. Because that's what y'all want, like the other nations do. So get prepared for what y'all want. Your heart desiring and lust for that, and y'all got the king of kings. But y'all want a king like him. And because they had tall kings, we looking around Israel. Saul, he's 7'2". Let's get him. That'll scare the people. Saul was scared to death. When David came to him, he's scared. He was already under the desert. Stuff like this. David says, just me. Oh, what you coming for? He said, man, what you do to the man that killed Goliath? Oh, first hear my arm. You put that on. I don't know. He offered his armor to David. Do y'all understand where we at? This the king we chose. He threw his armor out to David. Now what David gonna do with his breastplate that's covering his knees? David was number 14, 15 years old at the time. Let's read on.
Verse 5. Casting down imaginations and every high thing that exalted itself against the knowledge of Yahweh, and bringing into the captivity every thought to the obedience of Yahweh Shah.
See, that's what we got to be bondage to. Truth of righteousness. Who want to be a slave to righteousness? See, we got a problem with that. We got a problem being bound to righteousness. How long? No. The Day of Atonement is how long? 24 hours. Dang. 23. With 23 hours, we got one more hour to go, and you count down like New Year's. 5, 4, 3, 2. That's what we get. Instead of realizing we reading about 3 men who did 960 hours without food or water. Who want to take that on?
Pastor tried, he died.
24 minus 960. What's that number?
434.
Huh? 24 hours minus 960. Or 960 minus 24.
I was sure trying to
See, I was just saying which one of y'all went to school. So you got 934 more hours to complain about what these men did. What we complaining and crying about? Y'all, that's when the law has become a burden to you, that you watch as it gets time. It ain't none of this in eternal life. It runs for how long?
Ever.
What time you gonna gotta be there? Ain't nobody wearing no watch in eternity. Nobody's wearing a watch. Adam didn't get a day of birth until he sinned. Better is the end of the man than the birth of him. That's when his day counted, and we knew he was 930 years old when he died. If he had never sinned, who was gonna name him? Well, how old is Christ? How old is the Father? So we know where we at. Let's catch up, y'all. We got about 15 minutes. Go ahead. Shalom, y'all.
Verse 6. And having in readiness to revenge all disobedience when your obedience is fulfilled.
See, ready to avenge all disobedience. Revenge all disobedience when you're what?
Obedience.
See, you can't have a rock in your hand about disobedience and the rock will just throw it at you, so to speak. Once you're in obedience, then you're able to give that instruction. That don't mean because you may have did that in the past, but if there ain't no other record of that again on that level, then you can pick that rock up about that because you learned from it. Let's get some more.
Do ye look on things after the outward appearance? If any man trust to himself that he is Christ, let him of himself think this again, that as he is Christ, even so are we Christ. For though I should boast somewhat more for our authority, which the Lord hath given us for edification, and not for your destruction.
See, for what? And not for what? See, y'all, we can't teach destructive doctrine. It's for edification. All we doing is explaining the word of God. You have to be able to explain it to the people that are doing like this and say, what about this? If you can't do that, y'all, you're studying for the wrong reason. You're studying to, like it say right here in verse 5, having a readiness to revenge disobedience. You're not having that mindset of readiness for disobedience because you ain't clearing the mote out of your eye. It's impossible to do. Because all you're doing is saying, I'm going to blast yours. And the way I'm going to blast yours, you ain't going to bring mine up. Well, when I'm blasting yours, I've already straightened mine out. And if I'm blasting you about it, I'm telling you how you can get rid of yours. So both of us are going to blast somebody else. But if I kill you, I'm still going to be one witness. I need two of us to say this is dead wrong what we've been doing. Two of us go talk to them and tell them, yeah, this would happen to me. Yeah, the same thing happened to me. Either you're going to stop it or you're going to face this. We're trying so you don't have to be number 3 with what we're talking about. You cut it off right now. Y'all, if the mission ain't that, we wasting our time. Let's get some more. Or we finished with that. And
verse 8, I should not be ashamed. Did you want to go past this?
No, you can hold right there. Y'all, we got a couple more. Y'all want to get to some heart of the matter. And then we just going to hit a couple of law things, y'all. We'll close out right at the 4 o'clock hour. Just want to hear what I got up there.
James 4.
James 4.
We got Romans 13:12.
Yeah, and let me get, before we get that, give me Isaiah 59. Because we're going to see the same readiness of breastplate and helmet that the Messiah wore. I tell you what, give me that first. Isaiah 59. Yeah. Yeah. Give me that first, y'all. We're going to see the same thing backing up Ephesians 6. Both Old and New Testament. So ain't nothing new we bring to the table. He the same yesterday as today, ain't he? Don't we always say that? That's right. Then how did the law go away when they make that statement in Sunday doctrine? He the same yesterday as today. So he ain't pork yesterday. Y'all got that somewhere. Right. He committed sin yesterday. Y'all got that somewhere. All we asking you, if he ain't the Messiah, tell us what sin he did, and that'll help us out. We offer to do. We offer faith at that point.
They've been looking for 2,000 years.
They've been looking for 2,000 years for the sin of the Messiah. And you know what the sin turned to?
Name calling.
It say his color. He white in that book, even that white man's book. Find white Jesus in here. That's all we had. Now it's another one. Okay, well, yeah, do say his skin was bronze and like it's burned in a furnace. Eyes red, woolly hair. Okay, well, let me see. Call it naysayer we got.
The Romans put that in there.
Or it's an addition. The Romans gave it that. Y'all see, it's simple work when you say chapter and verse. How hard is that?
Man, you supposed to be in class, ain't you? What you doing?
You play where your hall pass?
That joker sneaking out of class.
Where your hall pass?
Check hall pass.
They gave you a hall pass? Come on, y'all, let's get it. Y'all, we run out of time. Let's go ahead and get it, y'all.
In the book of Isaiah, chapter 59, verse 15.
Yeah.
Yeah, chapter 59, verse 15.
Oh, man, I talked to that boy Melchizedek the other day, boy.
Did you?
Yeah, I checked his YouTube video, his page. I said, boy, I dropped a message and said, boy, no videos in 2 years? Melchizedek took your all, about 2 in the morning, get back. Yeah, I'll be putting up videos soon. I'm like, yeah, all right, whatever. Man.
He was mountain bike, he drive by stick.
Yeah, but he ain't did no type of work for the Lord in 2 years.
No.
Yeah, ever since he turned his back on the side, all is left.
I seen him in Home Depot, acting like he didn't see.
Yeah.
We see around each other for 15, 20 minutes, but he didn't see.
He's like, I'm gonna prove to eat rights to have the rights. I'm like, yeah, keep circling the drain, brother. Right.
Yeah. See, and this was a brother that had been studying with us at the founding camp down on Page and Tail. All feast days with us, and then one day Satan whispered in his ear, you know they're a pack of liars. The Messiah don't exist. They making all of that up.
He off.
And they say we're willing to put everything on the table. They pushed all of their chips to the center. I'm telling you, when they showed up, they brought their camera out first. They was unwrapping wires. I thought we was on To Catch a Predator. I'm thinking Chris Hansen finna jump out the closet the way they setting up cameras. We wanted on film that we got the teachers on her. We finna shut them down.
Right, we was looking at each other.
And he just hit him right in the mouth with Genesis 1:1. Elohim, plural or singular. Huh? What? I'm talking about it got so bad that we started to wave the white flag for them. He had his notes, and the notes were upside down.
Then they started asking questions.
Y'all can go pull up, except the notebook was upside down. And he was like he was still reading it.
It's over. It's over.
That quick, I'm like, y'all put all this on the line. And the one who was unwrapping the cards didn't say a word after word two. We're like, man, why you couldn't come to us and tell us that this was the deal? I said, man, no love for the brothers, man. You was just gonna let us? Well, I told him, I said, he ain't been here for 2 months. That's right. And they turned into non-messianic. One is now atheist.
Yeah, he's a scientific atheist. And them shank, boy, I called him about 2 in the morning. I'm like, boy, you ain't dropped a video in 2 years. You ain't got nothing to talk about what's going on. I'll be dropping a video soon. The Edomites of the Amorites. I'm like, yeah, keep circling the drain, bro. It's over. Most I took your all done. It's okay.
Yo, it's like that lighter that you light the barbecue grill so you don't have to throw them back there. And it whoops you, and it just clicks and it ain't nothing coming out. Click, click. That's what they've been reduced to, y'all. But they came at it from this perspective, not to help edify us and build us up. It was to crash us down and to shame us before the whole world. And they was going to put it on film, so thou hast seen.
They frisbee that footage out the window before they got to the highway.
Yeah.
Burns.
No, page and tells. Yeah, old school. Yeah, been with us many days and said, after all that being around y'all was talking about white Jesus.
Never
We like, we ain't never said it.
Yeah, he started jumping on the side. That hit me on a stick. JC.
Yeah, JC. You think also. So that's when you had your hands like this and you was drinking of this cup. You thought we were talking about white Jesus. But see, all we wanted to know at that point were you acknowledged that you thought when you drank that cup that was for white Jesus. You wouldn't acknowledge. See, and this is where we at. This is how we know when it's personal. Because he wouldn't acknowledge all of the feast days that we had in his mind. I thought y'all were talking about white Jesus. He wouldn't do that, wouldn't go there, because that wasn't the mission. The mission was somewhere along the line, one of you niggas hurt my feelings. Right. And I done found some on the internet that I think y'all ain't talked about yet. And I'm gonna get y'all. I'm gonna get y'all back.
Well, his feelings still hurt. When I see him every time we at Home Depot passing each other, every time I see him, his back to me.
Right.
Every time.
That was
He is close to me, but his back to me.
Look, y'all, it's hospital gown doctrine. It's hospital gown doctrine. All front and no back.
Hey, he got down there, they got down in the basement. While they was yanking over them tripod legs, and the shotgun was going on fire.
Yeah.
Running cords. Me and Daddy looked at each other like, dang. Boy, they come and take our head, bro.
Okay.
Man, please. They was backpedaling from the first question. Like, we wasn't prepped for that. Like, man, stop that, man. And you looked up, they was begging Daddy, hey, if I find an answer to Psalms 110, can I come back?
Like, what?
No, Mosey, oh no. It's over. It's over.
I said, man, it's way deeper than this pocket. You're still looking for somebody. You done denounced the Messiah and you don't have nobody. And you want time for me, permission to go dig somebody else up from the grave.
Permission from man.
Yeah. From somebody else, can we come back? It's over, brother.
Then you asked him, you said, so who is it? If it ain't Christ, who is it? He said, shit, you tell me.
Let's move on. But y'all, this is what we get into, and this is how enemies of your household become your foes. I mean, the foes of your household have become your enemies. Y'all, it's us against each other, y'all, but for us to be on the same team, we have to, Amos 3, can two walk together except they agree? How you gonna agree with a non-messianic and be in the same room? What they whisper? You know, these niggas over there actually believe Joseph, that carpenter's son, is the Messiah. Don't say nothing though, because, you know, we just try not to stir the pot. And we over here, these non-messianics, man, going to hell. But don't say nothing though. They just give them the same piece of the chicken and mashed potatoes that we get out. So everybody just eat looking at each other like this. Right. Like who's the dummy? You got a squirrel running over there eating.
Don't nobody want to talk about the big elephant in the room over here.
Yes.
He's gonna let our tires spin in the mud. It ain't happening.
That's why Kevin don't mess with us, because we don't do that. We chop doctrine. That's why don't nobody mess with us.
Y'all watch that video, that boy Bobby was upside down there.
Upside down. I mean, y'all just confounded at that point.
He's reading along. You know, like he's reading along. Yeah, like
Reading along upside down.
upside down is fine with you.
Let's move on, y'all. We got a few minutes. Yeah, in the basement. Let's get it, y'all.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 59, verse 15. Yeah, truth faileth, and he that departed from evil maketh himself a prey. And the Most High saw, and it displeased him that there was no judgment.
See, so don't think truth ever fails. He just telling you what happened. His word, because of disobedient man, it makes truth to fail. Look, this is when y'all hear somebody say, see, that's why I don't read that Bible no more. I know a nigga, man, he was pimping and he was doing this. What does that got to do with the Bible? You're telling me about this Negro's behavior. Right. That has nothing to do about truth. Truth ain't failed. That Negro failed. You're telling me what he did to displease the Lord. What does that got to do with this? So you're saying because he read this, he should have been sin-free. He should have never been able to sin. Well, you don't know when the devil attacked is when you understand this. When it comes, that's when he coming. So truth to fail. Let's read some more.
Verse 16. And he saw that there was no man, and wondered that there was no intercessor. Therefore his arms brought salvation unto him, and his righteousness, it sustained him. For he put on righteousness as a breastplate.
Is that matching up?
Ephesians 6, right?
Go ahead.
And an helmet of salvation upon his head.
Is that matching up?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
And he put on the garments of vengeance for clothing.
Beautiful.
And was clad with zeal as a cloak. According to their deeds, accordingly he will repay fury to his adversaries, recompense to his enemies. To the islands he will repay recompense.
So we can hold it, y'all read the rest of that, but what he's saying, I ain't gonna shortstop. I'm repaying everybody to their face. But you see, this is the Messiah with these garments on. Y'all see the same helmet and breastplate. So he's passing out his uniform for us in Ephesians 6 so that we may fight supernatural. We got the same uniform he's passing out. This is the captain of the host. He giving us the same uniform he got on. We ain't got no different uniform on. We got no ABC uniform on. Ain't no alphabets on her. Order of Melchizedek. Sect of the Nazarene, who they pointed the fingers back at. That's the Nazarene. Y'all, we got to be so careful that we use the word Christianity versus Christian. Christian is mentioned 3 times in here.
Right.
None of it from a negative standpoint. It means Christ follower.
Right.
Now, the doctrine of Christianity created in 300 years later, that's totally different. But if you're a Christ follower and you truly were that bracelet, what would Jesus do? He would keep the commandments.
Yes.
That's what he would truly do if you weren't that bracelet.
Right.
Hold on, give me just some Acts 28. Just so we understand this, y'all. And I'm just telling you that the reason we're talking about how you should study, the first thing you have to do is study what somebody gonna come and say this has been defiled. That's the first thing. Understand which way they're coming from, the wiles of the devil. If you know what your enemy's doing, you're already prepared for them. Every football team, they send a scout out to scout what they're doing, don't they?
Yep.
Go see what plays they're doing. Man, they keep running that half-back shift. That misdirection this. You put a play over here, every time he run over here, you follow him. 0 yards. And what they say, they shut them down. Because we studied our enemy. If you don't study what's happening, you can't go to a Pentecostal and ain't understood 1 Corinthians 14, the book of tongues, and you dealing with the people that say if you don't speak in tongues, you can't have the Holy Spirit. They ain't even read the book of tongues. And if you ain't studied it before you get there, guess what's gonna happen? War. And guess what's gonna happen when the naysayers sitting there looking at both you niggas crazy? Both you niggas crazy. I turn to voodoo.
Right. They turn to Islam.
That's what's gonna happen.
Turn to Islam.
Where we at?
Acts 28.
Yeah, that's what I want. Give me right where he's talking to.
Acts 28,
Yeah, I want right where he's talking to the governor.
20 through 23.
Yeah, yeah,
This called.
Acts 28, 20 to 23.
yeah. Paul is telling him the deal here.
All right, you might talk about so Felix, chapter,
Yeah.
chapter 26.
26 I want? Okay. 26.
For Agrippa.
Yeah, Agrippa, that's who I was. You know what?
Persuade me to be a Christian.
Now y'all see what I'm doing right here? That's what the dude was doing when he was calling himself, he was the Holy Spirit. But just like he said, 26 you won't. That's what they were doing to him and the Holy Spirit. You were to teach everybody else. But he was in my position, just what I said, and he said you won't from chapter 26. That's what the dude was doing that calls himself the Holy Spirit. He was being correct. And then when he was reading, and he shall give, I shall give you.
Yeah, Acts 26.
How he gonna remind you of all things and he forgot he was the Holy Spirit? I'm reminding you, but I forgot. That's like David Koresh said, I'm unlocking the 7 seals which no man can. And he do like this before he get his Bible. He put on his what you unlocking? You can't unlock the door without me. Who's that? Oh, Earl, what's up, man? How you gonna heal a blind and you putting on glasses? And if we believe that, what we gonna do? Believe in what? Go ahead. Where we at?
Acts 26.
Yeah, give me Acts 26, 28. And then give me Acts 11, 26 and 1 Peter 4, 16. Y'all, we're just gonna run through these quick. And y'all, this is what you truly have to study. First, understand that there's law, statutes, and judgment. They ain't went nowhere. We're under a new priesthood, the order of Melchizedek. Now what you have to do is everybody that's coming against that order. I mean, ask yourself, how many of them ABC camps y'all ever heard the word Melchizedek come out of their mouth? If it do, it sounds like it's some mysterious individual that showed up and disappeared and just the smell of smoke is around. Y'all see Melchizedek? It's not explained as a priest order that was in the earth when Abraham met Melchizedek, who happened to be Shem at the time, was the high priest after the Melchizedek order, and they broke bread and drank wine. That was the first on this side of the flood. Go ahead. Yeah, according to Jasher, the book of Jasher, that's mentioned in Joshua 10:13, 2 Samuel 1:18, and 2 Timothy 3:8. It says that Melchizedek was only that priest of righteousness and truth was Shem. And when you get in the 9th chapter, 8th, 9th chapter, you see Abraham went and studied with them since he was 3 years old. He studied with them for 36 years.
This order was ordained before the world was even created. Even Adam and the Lord, he was after the order of Melchizedek. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people don't understand the Levitical priesthood only came in as a schoolmaster once we was leaving them out of Egypt. You know what I'm saying? Because we forgot our Melchizedek order. You know what I'm saying? So that was the only reason for that to be implicated anyway. Other than that, we've been following after the order of Melchizedek. You know what I'm saying? The priesthood under the Levitical law was just a reteaching of the law.
Right.
All it was. Nothing more, nothing less. That's why Hebrews it says that by necessity the law had to change. If that law was perfect, then we'd still be sacrificing animals.
That's right.
Obviously it wasn't, so we had to go back to what it was at first. Was what? The order of Melchizedek. After all high priests.
And look,
just the beginning.
Fourth commandment. Remember the Sabbath. Did we remember the Sabbath in Egypt? So what do we remember? Can we keep it in Egypt? Well, we get into some 65 chapters of Jasher and tell you that Moses had to go talk to Pharaoh. He was working us 7 days a week. 20 hours a day. And if we didn't get quota, he put our children in place of the brick.
Right.
What else that was doing?
So what Sabbath are we remembering? Genesis 2? What Sabbath Abraham keep?
The Sabbath.
I can't know not to do that.
I mean, can you see Abraham not gathering sticks? Can you see what practice did Abraham keep concerning the Sabbath? Because that's the one we were told to remember. What you got in Egypt, you remember.
Right.
You work non-stop, sun up to sundown. That's why he say the Passover is so you would never be bound like that and wear your body completely out from work like that. And you should want to do it. You shouldn't volunteer to work non-stop. A computer will go into hibernation if you leave it on all day. It will shut down on you. or get a virus.
My last question. Those Hamites that are suffering right now, are they the citizens of those Egyptians?
What happened now?
He said they have Hamites that are starving now.
Right?
Are they suffering from what their ancestors did, their ancestors?
Can't say 100%. Would say 100%. But it could be just the wrath of Esau moving through, conquering lands, taking over. Have y'all seen the mural that's got everybody up in arms? It was happening in South Africa. They got Nelson Mandela naked sitting on a man's lap and he's going up in him.
What? Yeah, Africa's white man's land now.
I'm talking about war all over. What you think they're going to do to everybody in South Africa that love Nelson Mandela? Kill him. Yeah, it's an awful photo that's out there now. No, it's a mural that someone painted and they got it on display. It's Nelson Mandela's hometown. He's smiling with his head thrown back. Yo, we can't go into it, but let's read some more. We got 10 minutes.
6:27.
Yeah, go ahead. Read that for me, y'all. So y'all, this is where the mind has to be conscious, y'all. Look, when we say Christian, we ain't no Christian. We are not followers of Christianity. We got to change our language. Or somebody gonna point like this and say, and what will that make us do? It'll make us add or take away. Because if it's the first time you see it, what you gonna do but look stern? If you don't say, I need to review that. Hold on, I'm gonna get back with you in a couple days. Now, if you don't get back with them, shame on you, then you're gonna be a Home Depot looking in aisle 13 like you don't see nobody.
He was show reading labels.
Let's get it, y'all. Acts 26.
Book of Acts, chapter 26, verse 27.
What it say?
King Agrippa, believest thou the prophet?
Back it up 3-4 verses. He's telling, he's explaining something. King Agrippa.
Paul on trial.
Yeah.
21.
Okay, verse 21. For these causes the Jews caught me in the temple and went about to kill me. Having therefore obtained help of God, I continue unto this day, witnessing both to small and great, saying none other things than those which the prophet Moshe did say should come.
Y'all see what he's saying to King Agrippa? He's like, look, they ready to kill me about what I did.
My own people. Yeah.
My own people. About the word of the Most High with the law and the prophet saying they want to kill me about truth. Let's read.
That Hamashiach should suffer, and that he should be the first that should rise from the dead, and should show light unto the people and to the Gentiles. And as he thus spake for himself, how you say that? Festus said with a loud voice, Paul, thou art beside thyself. Much learning doeth make thee mad.
You sound crazy.
Yeah.
But he said, I am not mad, most noble Festus, but speak forth the words of truth and soberness. For the king knoweth of these things, before whom also I speak free.
See, ain't no shame in Paul's hand. He said, I speak this free. I won't deny him before men. I don't care about, look, yeah, I call you most noble Festus, you up in the courthouse. Yeah. You got the power to say, put some chains on him and lock him up. I'm going to call you what your title is, that's all it is. But I'm still telling you about a power 10 times greater than you. Right. Now, I wasn't scared of them about killing me about truth. All you doing is just adding to it, if that's what you want to do. But thank you if you want to punch that ticket. Go ahead.
For I am persuaded that none of these things are hidden from him. For this thing was not done in a corner.
You see what he's saying? He said, I was out on the street corner. I went into every synagogue, first of the Hebrew, and they told me to get the hell out of there. So then it was some Gentiles wanting to hear this. And they said, we believe it. We hear it. What was I to do? Fight against the Most High? It was already on it that this was going to happen. It just happened to be with me on this wall. Let's get some more.
Verse 27. King Agrippa, believest thou the prophet?
You see what he asked him? What he believed?
The prophet.
What did he answer? Did what he believed?
Prophet.
See, he wasn't talking about his doctrine. Where are the prophets found?
Yeah. Old Testament.
So how is Paul not talking about the New Testament? I mean, saying the New Testament, saying something different.
Exactly.
He said, do thou believe the prophets? Let's get it.
He just said in verse 22 and 23, he said, I was witnessing Moses and the prophets.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. It says, I know that thou believest. Then Agrippa said unto Paul, almost thou persuadest me to be a Christian? And Paul said, I would to God that not only thou, but also all that hear me this day, were both almost and altogether such as I, and such as I, except thou bonds.
Except these bonds. So he said, I wish all y'all who was Christ followers, except not like me because I'm handcuffed, I'm shackled. I wish y'all can escape that part. But yes, y'all need to be Christ followers of the prophets. The prophets spoke of him. That's what I'm saying. So y'all, it's just a title. Like we talk about titles. If we let titles define us, we're going to lose this because we're not to give out flattering titles. Even from a negative perspective. We talk about the works of darkness. Because we say Hashatar, what does that mean? And the Masons still look at him as Lucifer. But when we start talking about the works of him in the Freemasonry doctrine, you're going to see some things that somebody claiming to be of this book ought not be doing. Have a man pull my tongue out and slice it off and throw it in the sands of the sea if I tell a secret.
Right.
Have my bowels cut out if some secrets. This say shout on the rooftop. How you going to be a part of this and a part of that too?
Secret handshake. All of it.
See, those are works though that they have to perform and say out of their mouth before you can become a Mason. You can't do it, so just call and say his name ain't really worshiping Satan until you perform the works. We hear it's up here, but your hand got to move forward and do it. At least give yourself a chance. You're like, oh no, that ain't right. I just read. I ain't supposed to worship no other God before me. Think about the parties we give. Big butt birthdays at all of them. Count me in. And that's what usually happens. It's the prestige. Everybody else on Mason, what they say? It's the gifts. We throw the best parties. If you go in there, the judge will let you off. If you do this, it's gifts that ward off wickedness. That's all it is. Gifts that cover wickedness. That's what they say. That's what we got. The church is saying the same thing. We don't have to keep the laws. It says right there, we don't have to. So y'all, all it is keep me in this doctrine. Commandments of men. Y'all, if we don't spot that first, the only reason they're coming to you, and they are going to find out what you like. And they're going to promote that to you. You like this? You can be a part of our organization. You like bowing to men? I saw you when I came to that church, that Christian church, we was cussing y'all out. I saw how you defended the preaching. You was ready to fight us. Will you defend General Yohana the same way? Yeah, I will. So what you doing, but still defending a man? Let's read some more. You finished that?
Yeah, that's
Except these bonds. Okay, where we at now?
11:26.
11:26 and 1 Peter 4. Y'all ain't got enough but 5 minutes and 38 seconds.
At 11:26, that's one verse.
An eternal lifetime.
1 Peter 4,
Yeah.
12 to 16.
Yeah. Y'all, and why we're showing you this, because you have to defend what you believe first before somebody accepts it. Most people, every time there's something called pros and cons. If somebody say, I hear what you're saying about the Bible, but I hear that's a white man's book. It even say something about Christians in there, and I just heard you say, nigga, we ain't teaching no Christian stuff. We're not teaching Christianity. Sir, is what I meant. I misspoke. Oh, okay. Because if you don't, they'll want to do this. And if you look like that squirrel running in there, you turn your back on this because you didn't see that first. Go ahead, brother.
In the book of Acts chapter 11, verse 26.
What's that?
And when he had found him, he brought him unto Antioch. And it came to pass that a whole year they assembled themselves with the church and taught much people. And the disciples were called Christians first in Antioch.
What were they called?
Christians.
See, we didn't call ourselves that. That's what the people call us. And what does Christian mean? Christ followers. Anointed followers. That's all it means. I don't care what concordance you get. It ain't going to say AD 32. There's a doctrine of Christianity that was created 300 years later. But when this was going down, 300 years hadn't came yet. You can't tie the two. You have to explain to them, no, I'm not talking about Christ followers. I'm talking about the doctrine of Christianity that says we do the resurrection and we celebrate that with bunny and eggs. We don't do the Passover. Right. We tapped on this. We keep Halloween and we'll call it trunk or treat so the kids won't get no bad candy and raisin blades in there. Instead of doing the Feast of Tabernacles. Right. We do Christmas instead of the Feast of Dedication. Right. Because Jeremiah, I know it tells us don't bring no Christmas tree in there, but it's for the kids.
That makes it okay.
So what we at? Babies, you do whatever you command. That's right. Now, that's for you, it ain't for the children. Don't put it on the children. Right. All you gotta do is tell them, hey, we ain't doing that no more. It stops now. Okay, Daddy. They ready to take order. What are we doing this?
Right.
That's what we doing.
Right.
Yeah, let's go.
And you see what our problem is? We say don't do all of them pagan days, but we don't know how to do our holy days. So if they say, Daddy, what ought we to be doing? You're asking too many questions. Go in there and watch that food box TV. Because you asked a question. See, y'all, and that's where we at. We have to know this so that we can replace what you're pulling away from them with the good food. Yeah. You're changing the diet. You're sick here. It's just like you go to the doctor. He gives you the diet first. Here's your new diet. It's going to fix all them internal problems. No, Paul! Doctor, is you crazy? How am I live without my ungodliness? Okay. Here's a prescription that'll help your arteries stay open just long enough to get it down your throat. Oh, but there's going to be side effects with that. So here's another one for that side effect. Oh, and then this one's going to call a side effect. So when you get there, tell them you need all of these 15 prescriptions. Right. Or just quit eating pork. You quit eating pork.
And we brag on our medication too, don't we, Dad?
Boy,
people brag on their
people will set their bottles out at a card gas. You're not looking at you're sick. You're looking at that I'm proving to all of these other people who ain't got no doctor. I got a doctor. You got a doctor prescribing that.
I got good insurance.
But what is he prescribing? But side effects. Yeah, that. Don't even worry about it when I take that. My legs stop twitching and everything. Dried up Earl. I ain't had to throw away a pair of his drawers since we started taking that. But you got all of these new problems Earl got. His arm won't stop this. But you got to do these things no more. That's a sick piece. Let's get some more, y'all. Come on. Y'all get that for 5 minutes. Let's get it, y'all.
1 Peter chapter 4, verse 11.
Can you start with us?
Verse 7. 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 7.
Did anybody see anything wrong with how he said what part of Christian he was? Look, Satan is a mirror image. You're either a Christian after Christianity or you're a Christian after the prophets. Which one are you? It's just like Easter in Acts 12 and 4. It says it was Easter. When they asked, how was your Easter? I said, I did Easter Tuesday. Tuesday. And right after that, it says, and those were the days of unleavened bread.
Right.
You got dressing last Sunday. That ain't unleavened. Because they cooked cornbread till it rose this high. And they chopped it up. It was ham sandwiches. I don't know, just fix me a ham sandwich. So you're gobbling up leavened bread.
Eating abomination.
Eating abomination. So which Easter, Satan has his days right there. He masquerades. See, but we want to look way over here. Like Satan won't show us he coming. If he showed you coming, you ward it off. We still robots at that point. So I say, no, the truth is right there before you. Either you're going to accept it or you're going to reject it. And if you reject it, it's because you don't want to give up your old ways. It's plain and simple. You have to be renewed in the mind and spirit and say, that ain't meant for me. His doctrine, instead of the Day of Atonement, they say, get off of your bad habits for 40 days and then you can come back. So we put an ash right there. And we walk around displaying the works of the devil.
Yeah.
And you're smiling at work.
Yeah.
Yes, I serve the devil. I'm going to give up meat. I'm going to give up sinning for 40 days. And then I'll be right back into it. The Day of Atonement means you repent and you don't turn to that ever again. It ain't a 40-day off of worshiping the devil. You don't get 40 days off. They do it for Halloween, don't they? What's trunk or treat? But 364 days we talking about kicking the devil's rear end up to his shoulder blades. But on October the 31st, we play with it.
Yeah.
What's up, Black Mark?
Isaiah, you had some over there, Hebrew?
I was about to say me and El now was at the Save a Lot last week or whatever, right after class. And all this yeast, all unlimited. I mean, it was just full, and it was on sale. And I'm like, look at this. When the feast on unlimited, they just set it right there for everybody to grab at. And unfortunately, Negroes and Hispanics and us not knowing,
you are not able to say
grab at it.
I'm assuming.
Man. It was just crazy.
You could save a lot there. Not there, boy. Now we can do it now.
Man, it was crazy. It was crazy.
Let's get some more, y'all. Where we at?
In the book of 1 Peter, I'm going to start at 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 5. Y'all there?
Yep.
Who shall give account to him that is ready to judge the quick and the dead? For this cause was the gospel preached also to them that are dead, that they might be judged according to man in the flesh, but live according to God in the spirit.
Y'all see that? You have to live to Yah in the spirit.
Right.
Yo, that means flesh don't do nothing. I ain't worried about this outer cup. You tell me where your friend is, I'm going to tell you, Holy Spirit remind me of things. Which came first, the cart or the horse? So what I'm going to do is, since the Holy Spirit was around before the fringes, I'm going to remember the Holy Spirit, because it'll remind me that the Holy Spirit was sent back for me, not the other way around. Fringes wasn't sent back for you, but so won't nobody say, Daniel said don't wear your fringes. I'm telling you, if you put fringes before the Holy Spirit, wearing your fringes ain't going to recall nothing.
Don't mean
to your mindset. Absolutely zero. If it was, you wouldn't be following alphabet caps and commandments of men. If you had your fringes on, because they should remind you not to sin. So how you getting men flattering titles? The Honorable Louis
Farrakhan.
What's honorable?
The most abominable.
Louis Farrakhan. Right. Let's get this last one, y'all. We got number 2 minutes.
Verse 7. But the end of all things is at hand.
Right.
Be ye therefore sober, and watch unto prayer, and above all things have fervent charity among yourselves. For charity shall cover the multitude of sins.
What covers the multitude of sins?
Love, charity. Use hospitality one to another without grudging. As every man have received a gift, Even so minister the same one to another.
See, and that gift was the order of Melchizedek. Who was the father of hospitality? Abraham. It said he fed people every day, invited them to his home. When you get into the 21st chapter of the book of Jasher, when he went to go see Ishmael, he didn't throw Ishmael away. That was still his son. He had to divorce his second wife because his first wife, they were squabbling.
Right.
And Ishmael tried to kill Isaac once, roughing him up, strangling him till he said, And Sarah saw that. And she said, he can't be around here. He finna kill her. And he said, y'all got to go. But Abraham said, I need to go see my son. And when he got there, he found his first wife of the Canaanites cussing the children out, would not give him the father of hospitality, wouldn't even bring him water or nothing. Ain't no water in here. Ishmael here. He ain't here either. He gone with his mama somewhere. Say they gone hunt. Probably hunting another woman. Get y'all little black. Abraham said, look, when he come back, tell him I said change the nail in his tent. See, women keep the household. So when you change the nail in your tent, is where mother hang your hat. It's the holding point, or wherever the hospitality point. Tell him to change that when he come back. So like, yeah, I'll tell that nigga whatever you say when he come back. Get y'all little black! Abraham went back again, and he had changed the nail in his tent.
Right, she went there.
And as soon as she saw him, who? She said, I'm an old man coming to see Ishmael. Water, my Lord. Get off the horse and get off the camel and come wash. Let me wash your feet. I have bread here. He's like, oh, boy, to change his nail. You tell him you did a great thing. You changed it to the right one.
The nail standing sure.
But look, Abraham had told Sarah, I ain't gonna get out the car. You ain't got to worry about that. I'm just going to see my boy. Cause Sarah like, where you going to see who? Hagar. I said I was going to see Ishmael. Abraham never got off the camel. So still he had baby mama drunk. I ain't gonna get out the car. Okay, yeah. Cause I was going. See Ishmael too. Hey y'all, when y'all read that jazz, so y'all understand the perfect.
You know that's all.
Verse 11.
What it say?
Any man speak, let him speak as the oracles of God.
Let any man do what?
If any man speak, let him speak as the oracles of God.
What are the oracles of Yah?
This right here.
If any man talking, he has to speak chapter and verse.
That's right.
Oracle, statutes, and judgment. If you ain't talking about statutes and judgment and righteousness, you're wasting your time. Right, that's where they'll mock at that point, trying to get you off your game. I'm not here to talk about not doing the law, because I can't get into that kingdom. Where you reading that at? That I can go in there doing anything, then that includes the devil.
Yeah.
How you gonna send them to the lake of fire and you let me do what I want to do?
John.
Hey, since these camps teaching like the old law, right? So do you think they teaching like stoning too?
No. They only stone you from their mouth. They still stone you. They curse you out.
Right.
They stone you with their mouth. With the tongue they stone you. They tell you, nigga, you going to hell. That's what they shout out. If you don't do that, all you niggas, we gonna kill all of y'all. We gonna do the work of the Lord on you Negroes that won't believe that we still under earth.
So the word, like,
see, it's not the old law. It's the old priesthood. We got to be careful on the language that we use. The law is the same. It's just a different priest administering the same law. This priest was told to sacrifice sins this way. You kill an animal. This priest, with that same law, say you tell them to repent if they ain't been killed already, and never do it again. And it's called, I'm gonna give you some grace. But Noah found grace in Genesis 9, didn't he? It said Noah was perfect and found grace.
Grace, right.
Grace didn't start over here in the New Testament. Noah found grace because he was spared the destruction. So in like manner, the Messiah is saying the same thing. I will give you grace to get this right during this peacetime. But when I come back, just like Isaiah 66 says, if I come back and y'all eat swine, I'm consuming you. And when you show them that, what that's in the Old Testament, see, that's where they'll go because it's saying about judgment. They don't believe in judgment either. Romans 4:15, where there's no law, there's no sin. And what everybody going to church for? It's like the Jehovah's Witness. If it's only 144,000, why you at my door? I wouldn't be at your door. I'm lessening the numbers. Right. I ain't gonna move myself out of the way and knock on your door. Guess what? I'm 139,000 of the tribe of Judah. You want in? No, I ain't gonna give up my spot. So why would I even teach a doctrine like that that says I'm outing myself so that you may come in? It's not there. It's just a doctrine of unrighteousness. And you can see it because they tell you. We don't have to keep the law of God. We don't. Go ahead, bro. Absolutely. They talk about hell, but to them, it's just talk. If you ask one of them, if it ain't no law, why you go to church? Because, see, you just want to show God you respect him. Why? See, the work of God had to go forth. Why? He died for everybody. So if I don't do what you're doing, am I still getting the kingdom? I believe he existed. But I had my mind on the check cash in place, and I'm the one that didn't have it. I know what time Rusty the Bailiff take his break, and I'm going after the money. I'm still getting in the kingdom, right? Because it ain't no law. And see what they say. They're going to try to find anything of obedience, but anything to say the law, they're going to run away from it. Because just ask them, what is transgression of the law? Or what is sin? Just ask them that, and they will never, ever tell you. If there's a blockage up there that won't allow them to say sin and law in the same breath. Just try it, y'all. Yeah. Y'all, we got up with this last script, y'all. What we had on this?
Just to back up what brother was saying, it may not be a physical stoning, but more of a spiritual stoning of your understanding. Right. To the point to where if the Messiah is not the foundation, then it'll be stuff going on in Passover, like they auctioning women off at Passover.
Y'all know that's what they doing in the ABC.
They auctioning women off. You feel me? Like single ladies, you don't have a man. You don't have a man. Come to the 47th annual Passover. What? Get you a killer in your bed. General Yohanan will be allowing his soldiers to take more wives. What? And if it ain't him, it'll be free case raiding them in the purple, because maybe the black is too radical for you, so it'll be free case raiding the purple, and he just auctioned off some women at his Passover. Yeah, they're auctioning women off at Passover. You feel me? You single ladies in the room. Who's single? Who don't have a man? Raise your hand. Come on up here and get one of my officers. Y'all think it's a game? You can get on YouTube. IUIC auctions off women at Passover. It will blow your mind at what's going on. You hear me? Now mind you, this is what Passover. This is the most important time for a Hebrew. Even more serious when you understand the sacrifice that the Messiah laid down. Right? You ain't gonna be in there playing bingo and auctioning women off and none of that madness. You feel me? All our minds are supposed to be on some of the sacrifice that the Messiah laid down for us. So physical stoning, you won't catch that. You may catch a Peter Moses here and there every once in a while. You feel me? Somebody is snapping, on some co-activity or whatever. But that's the fruit that comes behind it. But the spiritual stoning happens all the time. Yeah. And what I'm saying is, it goes into your understanding. If they can stone your understanding, In other words, kill your understanding, you'll forever be a slave under one of these cats. They don't allow you the freedom to grow. Like Danny just did a video about the translation of Enoch. You better not walk in one of their classes with a book of Enoch. You'll be catted out head first because they're not allowed to read books like that. You say allowed, you using the word like yes, allowed. You see what I'm saying? They teach a curriculum, and if you ain't learning under this curriculum, you're not allowed in it. You dig? And that's what allows them to what? Auction off the daughters of Zion at Passover.
Look,
auction them off, period. Like, what is you doing?
You didn't read this, then.
Now,
the Bible tell you to read this. But they say you can't read that either. They don't like it.
And Daddy, we call it the book of Jasper.
They call it Jasper. We're like, for one, you're pronouncing it wrong. That's why, for one. But y'all think about this. Come get a soldier, a killer.
Get a killer in your bed.
Now, the women ain't thinking about that protection. Hell, they got their own pistol.
Yeah.
They're thinking there's going to be activity going on the killing floor. And if he got 3 wives, when he get to wife number 2, he gonna be lying. Wife number 1 took all my energy. It was them green beans I ate. That's why I couldn't be a killer for you, number 3. That's all it's gonna lead to. Back to one favorite. Y'all, it's madness because y'all they turn us from what we need to know. So y'all, to wrap this up, did we finish last scripture before we hit?
No, we did
First Peter 4. First Peter 4, and we did this James, y'all, we close out. Go ahead.
First Peter 4 and 11. If any man speak, let him speak as the oracles of God.
Right.
Any man minister, let him do it as of the ability which God giveth, that God in all things may be glorified through Mashiach Yahushua.
Right.
To whom be praise and dominion forever and ever. Amen. Beloved, think it not strange concerning the fiery trial which is to try you, as though some strange thing happen unto you. But rejoice in as much as ye are partakers of Hamashiach Yahushua suffering, that when his glory shall be revealed, ye may be glad also with exceeding joy, if ye be reproached for the name of Christ. Happy or ye. Happy or ye.
See that? If you go through your fiery trial and tribulation, you're not supposed to be slumped shoulders,
right?
Poked out mouth,
right?
They got me messed up,
right?
You're supposed to be happy because you're going through the same thing all the prophets of old, and even the Messiah, all them went through that. They were mocked, persecuted, talked about. Right? So if you're being reproached for this, not because you brought it on yourself, but for the word, you're supposed to be happy. You got disciples that were getting beaten in the book of Acts, and they rejoiced that they were counted worthy to suffer for the name of the Lord. You see? So again, when you go through it, what you got to poke that mouth for? Right. You heard it was coming, you're going through your fiery trial, embrace it. All right, go ahead, bro.
For the spirit of glory and of God rested upon you. On their part, he is evil spoken of, but on your part, he is glorified.
That's right.
But let none of you suffer as a murderer.
What's a murderer?
The shedder of innocent blood.
See, that's different than when the law states, thou shalt not kill. The Muslim will tell you, see, that should mean thou shalt not murder. It's exactly the way it's supposed to be. There's 100 ways to kill. Or you got to answer Ecclesiastes 3 and 8. There's a time to what? Kill. So how you going? You in conflict now, right? Mm-hmm. But killing, if your pit bull run out there and kill somebody, that's your death. If you're warring 2 men and it says you killed him or he was put to death, I wounded a man for my own soul. Or basically saying that's called self-defense. I wounded a man against my own hurt. I had to put him down or he was going to put me down. It just was what it came to, but I had to kill him. War, you have to do what? So it's saying what it's supposed to say in the temptation, but now we get to this other killing, murder, which means the shed of innocent blood. You see somebody coming out of the check place, it's dark, you in the house. I'm gonna knock his head off to the white meat. When he wake up, it's gonna be Thursday. You kill somebody, you plan and plot the death of somebody, and especially if you do it to a child. you're going to have major problems. That is one fashion of killing. Thou shalt not steal. Proverbs 6, we got a problem with that. Don't despise a thief if he steals to satisfy his soul. So is there a liar for stealing? No, because the law say if you plant a vineyard, leave some for the poor and hungry and homeless. Don't take your board out there. Leave some for the poor. And the script says you can eat what's there that's left for the poor, but you can't put them in your pockets. You eat on the fly and keep moving. You start putting something in your pocket, what you gonna do?
Take it.
Hey man, I know where we get apples for free. You just told her how we gonna steal. Because what you gonna do is start laying out the plan. Now look, you knock on the door and you run that way. I'll be getting the apples. While he's looking that way, how is that free apples then? We just plotted theft. No, it wasn't talking about that. Because the man is greater. You know, understanding if you starve to death and you see an apple there, the Most High say, I'm going to never put you in a position that my commandments make you choose death over this, or everybody will be doing it. Everybody will say, well, it's because your law, I didn't do it. I just didn't want to do it. I didn't want to strike a fire, and I knew it was 18 degrees out there and my gas got cut off, so I didn't want the gas man to turn it on because I'd be lighting a fire on the Sabbath day. Now that baby froze to death, that's God's fault.
Right, use common sense.
Because I wanted to keep the Sabbath. Y'all, these are the type of things we are against. Go ahead, y'all, let's finish this off.
Verse 15. But let none of you suffer as a murderer, or as a thief, or as an evildoer, or as a busybody in other man's matters.
In whose matters?
Other man's matters. Yet if any man suffer as a Christian, let him not be ashamed, but let him glorify God on this behalf.
See, so y'all, we got a problem if you don't change your language to put the entity on this word. I don't. Right. See, the entity is the books of notes to see which Christian you're going to be. Because, right, there's a Christ in their church too. Just like Farrakhan said, Elijah Muhammad was Jesus Christ, born in Bethlehem. Y'all can pull up the video right now.
Yeah, he did.
David Koresh said he was Christ. Yeah. Benjamin Carter said he was Christ. Yeah. So there's Christ out there, and you can be a Christ follower, but of who? They're going to name their body of notes and work. And if you chasing that, you can't be. You can't be a Muslim and part of this too.
Hey Dan, can I say something?
Yes, sir, bro.
Hey, when y'all get a chance, y'all look up John 1:41. It's up on the board. And John 4:24-25. And it lets you know that Christ and Messiah are synonymous, meaning the word Messiah and Christ equal anointed. It's the same exact thing. So you'll run across some folks that say, well, I don't say Christ. You feel me? With a Messiah. It means the same exact thing. It's right here in the scripture. John 1:41 and John 4:24-25. It says clear as day, Messiah is Christ.
So we ain't got no problems with what you ain't gonna say. I don't care about what you ain't gonna say. Is that written anywhere? So y'all, once we learn the rules, y'all, that's everything established. See, I can't tell you where to start. I can't tell you to start in Genesis if you don't know what the rules are. You can start anywhere in the Bible when you know the rules. You can start in Revelation when you know the rules. You can start in Isaiah when you know the rules. Because all they're going to do is lead you back and forth to old and new and back here, and then all your precepts come together. But they still have to be done with what? So y'all, ain't no foolproof plan to say if you start in Genesis 1, and by the time you get to Exodus, I guarantee you will know the law. Not if we got everybody reading what they call a Tanakh. Had a boy tell him the other day that if you lay with your woman, it's sin.
Yeah. Yeah. If you lay with your wife, you're sinning.
Now he said he read that out of the Old Testament. So now we got a problem. Be fruitful and multiply, thou sinner. Y'all read that? Have y'all read that?
It's not in there.
It ain't in there, right? So where did he get that was a sin? Well, that's breaking the law to be fruitful and multiply.
In his own mind.
But calls himself an Israelite and a follower of the law, but
That's homo doctrine, though. That's homo doctrine.
don't you know feast days outside the land?
We kept half the feast days outside the land. In the Bible.
400 years between David and
430 years, that's right.
before the temple was ever established in Jerusalem. So what were them Passovers done at?
Outside the land.
You said scroll. Oh, okay. I thought you said scroll to the top of the script. You said, well, you right. But y'all, that's the understanding, y'all, and that's from all Israelites. So what we're saying is that must be established with two witnesses, because he hollered one witness, Leviticus this, and then go to nothing else. We know what he's thinking. Psalm 51, where David talking about what he did to Bathsheba.
Yeah, I ain't gonna give no work.
But I ain't giving you your help. So you said be fruitful and multiply is a sin. No, that's not what I'm saying. Then if I have sex with my wife, how is it a sin then? Tell me the difference being fruitful and multiply. What's the difference? Is there a different way that sex and multiplying fruitfully, they're two different things? Well, what are you saying to me? Explain it to me.
Yeah.
So I can understand the chapter and verse, so I can understand what you're saying.
He tried to say that you had to bring a sin offering to the priest after you laid with your wife. I'm like, where you reading that at?
Where you reading that at?
He just said you want to clean into the evening. Don't say nothing about you have to bring a sin offering. You know what I'm saying? So go reread that Leviticus 15. Oh yeah, okay. Click up, hung up real quick. Yeah, all right, man, whatever. But he asked me what sin was, and I told him transgression of the law. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's having sex with your wife. I'm like, I don't know where you getting this from. It's straight mad. Straight mad.
So yeah, we go over that, because that was a good one. But y'all, this is what we talked about, y'all. So when the class of studying 101, the first thing, everything must be established. If you don't have the ground game and the rules, I don't care where you go. You start a new job, they tell you what the rules are first. The first thing you do, after we get you set up, you sit down and go over what? Our rules. If you catch you on the parking lot smoking a joint, out of here. If you cuss somebody out on the floor, out of here. And then you check, I agree, I won't do any of that. Okay, you're ready to start work. If you don't fill that out, it keep popping back up in your email. You ain't told us you agree with our rules yet before you get this first paycheck. And you get another one. If you don't agree to this, we're gonna have to let you go. And then you start reading, wait a minute. At the last minute though.
Yeah.
The deadline you click.
Read to read it.
Like manner. Until you establish whatever they say, they have to say it twice, and it paints the same picture. Whatever you say, you have to say it twice, and it paints the same picture. If you don't, you're not playing by the rules. That's the first step of studying. Wherever you decide to open the Bible, wherever the Spirit had you open it at, the Spirit had you open it at for the church edifying. This is a 70-year course. If I tell you to start at Genesis and go all over this, one of us probably be dead. Especially if you 20 and I'm almost 60. 70 years? What that make me?
40.
So, what are my chances of that? To watch you get through this course like that? No. The Spirit is here for our admonition, to help us, or to straighten any issue out. Once we do it on a two-witness deal, two-witness rule, we got our instructions how to go forward. Do we get that last James?
I'll write it up.
Last one, y'all, we close out. James 4. Anybody got any questions before we get the last one before we close out? Any questions, y'all? Go ahead, bro.
Yes, so you're saying it's best to study the law before you go and not
Well, understand what the laws are. That's the first thing, because that's what you're going to be judged by. So understand what the rules are. There's a judgment day coming. What am I going to be judged by? The law, right? So, and then I can only stand for me. So everything I do, I have to study this from the perspective that my soul is on the line. I really have to truly look at this and let nobody else. I have to study to show God, that's myself first. And I have to study to do that. The only way I'm going to be doing that is because this is what we get down to. Eternal life, which we're concerned with, or their law that says this is the kingdom. With all of this wickedness is going on. You want to go to a feast of Passover and pick out any woman you like? So everybody there at the Passover for what? I'm getting me a woman!
Lust. And also what Dan was saying, like the other side of the coin too. Like he said, it say, thou shalt not kill, but then you will see a righteous kill. So you gotta, when you understand thou shalt not kill, there's many ways to kill. Study up on that. Then look at the other side of the other coin. If you kill somebody that's innocent, that's called murder. So, you know what I'm saying? That way when you get, when somebody presents certain questions, you already got the field, because I studied to show myself approved in this particular subject. Now I can guard it and keep. You know
Absolutely.
So the other side of the coin is very, what I've been learning lately, the other side of the coin is very, very, very important. You get hit with a question that, boy, turn your whole day upside down. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, great. Let me just say this, y'all. So start, if you want to start in Exodus 20, the 10 Commandments. When he say have no other God before me, there's multiple ways not to have no other God for me. And the next one, and don't make no graven images, either in heaven above or earth beneath. Y'all, you can't make nothing, a picture of nothing under the earth. So go ahead, brother.
Since we was dealing with Timothy earlier,
Yeah.
and you know, there's like a lot of back and forth between Israelite and Gentile subjects. Was Timothy a Gentile?
His father was. According to Acts 16:1. Timotheus, his mother was a Hebrew and his father was a Greek. That's right. Now you got doctrine that teach the father can only spread the seed. Well, we got the same issue in Exodus. Was it 24:10? It was 24:10, that where it lists the whole lineage of a woman. So when does it do that? Who had an Israelitish woman who had a son, his father was an Egyptian. But they dealt with him under Israelite law. The same way Paul took Timothy, whose father was a Greek, and dealt with him with Israelite law. So on both sides of the book, we got this situation that where Israel can't be wiped out. Because that's what Pharaoh wanted to do. If we kill all the male and we get all of the women, we stop Israel in its tracks. Didn't work. Because the blood covenant is with Israel. So whatever nation we mate with, guess what? Male or female is Israel. And we got two witnesses for that. We need the witnesses to say the father carried the seed. And it's only mean male. Because we got Genesis 46 where Jacob had sons and daughters, and he called them offspring of his seed.
All his seeds.
Right? All his seeds. So they get you off of that so you get on this point. Can't none of us in here tell us who the father of our great-grandfather. You don't know if Master got in there. You don't know if Earl the blacksmith was in there. You ain't got a clue. Right. But what I'm saying is, how you gonna govern something that you don't have records of? Even in here, if you couldn't find Ezra and Nehemiah, you couldn't find the priest's name wasn't in there, they were discounted from the record. Who got the plantation records on your specific lineage from your name? And you promoting I'm Johnson. See, the Johnsons, we go way back to where? The Johnson plantation.
Arkansas.
What were you called on the slave ship? What was your last name then? If you can't go from that point back, you're still right there. No matter how you look at it, the law ain't gonna never work for where you can't go back and prove that the slave master never touched your grandmother. Who can do? Who can do?
Yeah, that's all I'm nasty was doing anyway.
Who got Ancestry.com? And it tells you it's a mirror. You see Sally Hemings? All her children didn't get Thomas Jefferson inheritance, did they? Nope. What did they get put to?
The slave quarter.
Right.
They know the truth. One drop of our blood, and what's the deal?
He was in your nigga.
That's it. So, y'all already know that. Go ahead, Sid.
So a married man and a married woman laying up is not a sin, but is it a sin like on the Sabbath for you to do that?
Speak a little loud, sister.
Or having sex on the Sabbath.
Yeah.
Married couple.
Is that a sin?
We got Isaiah 4 coming up, right? That rest we need to see. Is that a rest period? Is that a Sabbath? The millennial period?
Is it a Sabbath what?
Is that be the Sabbath of the millennial period?
I don't understand.
I'm just saying, like, we looking forward to the rest that's coming, or the Sabbath day. Hebrews 4th chapter. That rest the Messiah told us to look for. That's the same rest in Genesis 2. That was the 7th day, and he rested. Does it say the 8th day that he brought Adam into the garden? Or if he had went into the garden in the 8th day, 19th and 11th, does it say he came out on the 6th day of the evening of the garden? Or was he to have children in the garden? Isaiah 4 say, in that day, the day of the Lord, every man gonna take hold of 4 wives. That's a millennial rest period for 1,000 years. That's a Sabbath.
Seven women take hold of one good man.
So what happens? Are you going to be multiplying in that time? Or there'll be no intercourse during the whole millennial period, which is a Sabbath rest?
That will be multiplying.
Because the other scripts say you should have children that should be this age and reach this age and this age in the kingdom. Ain't no time there though, because it's running for 1,000 years. So what year do you take off not to have sex during the Sabbath? During the millennial period, which is a Sabbath reign. No work, no warring, just the Lord on your mind and in your heart. Can you have sex during it?
7 women just take over one man.
I would say yeah.
See, and the other thing, like no, y'all won't say this because we know we tarry a little bit. Like even like say, should you fast or eat on the Sabbath or whatever? Like I said, the Sabbath is a feast. But 3 men ate no food and water for 960 hours. Did they skip any hours to eat during the Sabbath? Or did they fast on the Sabbath?
Shabbat came up a couple times.
So 40 days and 40 nights, you got 4 Sabbaths in there. You got 4 Sabbaths in there, and they are not physically eating or drinking. They're spiritually eating. They're gaining all the knowledge of the world, so they're still eating on the Sabbath. We just keep looking to this right here. Flesh. Because we're thinking what you're doing on the Sabbath. Oh yeah. Flip it over like that. Hold it up like that. Grab that chandelier. That's what you're thinking. That's why you can't be thinking no sex on the Sabbath. Because you're thinking about those things.
You're not thinking go forth and be fruitful and
multiply.
You're thinking fleshly, sweaty, hot lust.
Right.
So I'm told
That you shouldn't be doing.
Right. Because that's the only thing gonna be told. And yeah, tell them what we did on the Sabbath, you ugly mother. You ain't gonna tell that on me, LaQuisha.
You see what he's saying, though, sis? On the other side of the coin.
Yeah, so you have to look at what we're moving toward, not what we're leaving behind. We're not in the rearview mirror or worrying about that type of intercourse. Our loins are girded with truth. When we're in the Sabbath day, it's going to be right. It's going to be Hebrews 13. The bed is undefiled. The marriage bed is undefiled. Adam and Eve were in paradise to live forever.
Eternal rest.
And they brought in a threesome. That's what happened on that rest day, on the 7th day.
Now, the book of Jasher, is that like a part of like the 20 tables? That is like a source, or is that something that took out?
Well, when we say lost or took out, they just shrink this to a summary. They pull out, the Apocrypha was in here. How many years ago? Still today.
To the 1800s.
All of these were in here too. Y'all, we got the book of Nathan, the book of Edo. Who's seen the book of Nathan and Edo?
I see it on Amazon.
But the only way you can trust it is if it don't break the law. That's the only way. That's the only way we trust it. We haven't found the law breaking that they point to. They just curse it out. But all about Enoch in the book of Jude, in Genesis, is there a book of Enoch in here? It said Enoch prophesied. What are we going to look at that proves that? What book in here can we look at to say Enoch, these are from the writings of him, found written in where? Where are we going to get the book? I mean, how can we prove it? How is it possible to prove somebody other name mentioned that ain't in here and it said is not the rest of the writing of King David in the book of Nathan? That's a challenge for us. Is Nathan lost forever? I guarantee you can pull it up right now and it'll show up. Book of Nathan.
Right on Amazon.
But we have to start going through it and see if it breaks law. And David was righteous for what he did when he took Bathsheba. And to give Uriah the king drunkenness and to lay with his wife was of the spirit. If that's in there, that ain't the book of Nathan.
That's got to go.
Because it's contradicting what Nathan went to David and said. You the man, David. You the woman. And David repented. So y'all, we got to be careful with certain books. Because they're like Talmudic books that say, if man and God argue, man is right, God is wrong. That's in Amos.
Right, fuel for the fire.
We just read in Isaiah, my thoughts are not your thoughts. My thoughts are higher than yours. So when did it switch? Even when you see the Ten Commandments, or they show Abraham sacrificing Isaac, he grumbled, no! But when we read this, he said, Lord, if you said, I already read what you're going to do with your son. Isaac got to go, he got to go.
Isaac was cool.
I'm 99 years old. I know I wasn't supposed to have him. I'm way past this. And Sarah was been dried up. Them was saddlebags right here, now they look like boxing gloves.
That's your brother, man.
It wasn't what they showed on the movie. No, God, no! Abraham said, do what you did. When you read this, Isaac and Ishmael had it. Isaac said, if the Lord told my father to put me on the altar, I'll lay like this. Not only this, but he was 37 years old. This say the same thing. He was 37. But they got us thinking he was this boy's age on there. Like he in a cub jersey. Father, what you doing? Isaac was 37. And like, you threw time that, no, tie that one tight over there. Tie that one right there. That was loose, I get out of that. That's what Isaac was doing when you get into this.
Like that morning, his wife was crying.
Crawling up the mountain. Yo, we gonna get out of here.
My dad called me the other day and he said, you know, Isaac was a grown man. I'm like, yeah, I'm trying to tell you this was that, but he said he did it. He said, that's not Canada. Where did you get that from? Oh, man, so he said, wait a minute. If you go outside and fight to say something about it, something when I do it.
Yeah. It's not God's power.
Well, you can do the adding up in here because it says Sarah was this age when she died. When Isaac came, Isaac never saw Sarah again. When he went to sacrifice, when he came back, she had passed. Because she was crying looking for him. Her heart was broken. But when he came back, from her death to count back to where he come, still gonna say 37 years. So this ain't lying. This says 37 years, how old he was. See, this is a summary of all of them. They match this. These match